The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Good morning. The government to budget $10 million in the next fiscal year for a new parliament. Prime Minister Davis wooing future investors in New York. And the budget for consultants reduced. It's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Friday, May 30th, 2025. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Also this morning, Easy Car Sales opening their new BYD showroom in the mall at Marathon. It's a first for the country. We're going to get details about that and more of the exciting things happening in the electric car business. And later in business, it's our monthly human resource series. Today we're talking about the 4 types of employees. We're going to get into that this morning. That's all ahead. But first, it's time for the overnight, the latest breaking news from while we're sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, the government has budgeted $10 million in the next fiscal year for the construction of a new parliamentary building. The government projects that the total cost for the project will be $65 million. The figures are included in the government's draft estimates of revenue and expenditure for 2025-2026. Based on the figures, the project is expected to last at least until the 2027-2028 fiscal year. Foreign Affairs Minister Fred Mitchell has previously said that there needs to be a new parliament building. The current parliament has been in use since 1815. Last year, Mitchell said he hoped that work on a new parliament would begin over the next 2 years. He said the design for the new with the Ministry of Works. Meanwhile, the Davis administration has reduced its budget allocation for consultancy services in the upcoming fiscal year. The budget numbers show that $59,409,580 is budgeted for consultants across 30 government ministries, agencies, and departments in the upcoming 25-26 fiscal year, which starts July 1st. The largest allocations included $9.8 million in the Ministry of Tourism, Investments and Aviation, $2.3 million in the Ministry of Education, $4.8 million in the Port Department, and $1.5 million in the Ministry of Immigration and National Insurance. For the 24-25 fiscal year, the government allocated $76.6 million for consultancy services across 32 government ministries and departments. That was a $12.1 million increase compared to the previous fiscal year. And the government has once again budgeted $140,000 for the Freedom of Information Office in the upcoming fiscal year. Critics have said that the $140,000 allocation was inadequate. The status of the full implementation of FOIA remains a mystery. Last year, the Organization for Responsible Governance said it was sorely disappointed by the allocation. Information Commissioner Keith Thompson told the Tribune last year that the allocation could do nothing to help the office with its work. It's unclear if Thompson is even still acting as Information Commissioner. Over the last year, he's declined to give an interview about the work of the office. He's referred all inquiries to the Deputy Information Commissioner, Shane Miller. Prime Minister Philip Davis, who gave the keynote address at the 2025 Bahamas Business and Investment Forum in New York City on Thursday, spoke of a country where the government rolls out the red carpet for investors, helps them cut through the bureaucracy in government, and holds their hand throughout the process of their projects. Davis told possible future investors that the Bahamas is safe, transparent, and predictable, and a welcoming country with a stable government and strong laws. A jury unanimously acquitting a man of rape. Prosecutors Thursday have alleged that Michael Sterling sexually assaulted a 20-year-old woman on September 11th, 2023 in New Providence. The woman alleged that she was at Sterling's home when he allegedly forcibly removed her clothes and penetrated her with his fingers. Sterling did not take the witness stand at his trial before Justice Franklin Williams KC. However, when questioned by police, he denied that the incident took place. Jurors unanimously rejected the prosecution's case and acquitted Sterling Thursday. Meanwhile, a Supreme Court jury convicting a man of raping a 9-year-old girl in 2020 during the COVID-19 pandemic. Kaynold Romaine showed no reaction when the 9-member jury delivered the unanimous guilty verdict. Romaine, who was on bail during his trial before Justice Janine Weish Gomez, has been remanded into custody pending sentencing. A sentencing hearing has been set for June 19th. Romaine's now 13-year-old victim testified that she lived in the same area of New Providence as Romaine. She alleged that he raped her in November 2020 while her mother was not home. The teen said she didn't tell her mother what he had done because Romaine had threatened to kill her if she had exposed him. The girl was admitted to hospital for an STI. Jurors rejected Romaine's defense that he was being used as a scapegoat. In his police interview, Romaine claimed that he was the one who had alerted the child's mother about the abuse. He claimed that the daughter had told him that her mother's boyfriend was the abuser. And the fight over the right to perform as the world-famous Valley Boys continued in the Court of Appeal. The Valley Boys, a leading Junkanoo group formed in 1958, split in 2024 due to disputes over management. On September 6, 2023, before the split, the Way Forward Valley Boys, led by Trevor Davis, registered as a nonprofit. Months later, on January 14, 2024, the world-famous Valley Boys, headed by Brian Adderley, also registered as a nonprofit. This prompted the Way Forward group to, on April 10th, 2024, protest against their registration, saying the name was designed to confuse the public. Following an investigation, the Registrar General sided with the Way Forward Valley Boys and invited the world famous Valley Boys to find a new name. Subsequently, the world famous group asked a judge to review the registrar's decision. The application for leave for judicial review was dismissed in March 2025, paving the way for the world-famous Valley Boys to be struck from the register. Yesterday, attorney Christina Galanos argued that the registrar erred when she offered. Crystal Roll KC, who appears along with Bjorn Ferguson and Darren Cash for the Way Forward Valley Boys, will respond to Galanos' argument on June 26th. Overseas, chaos erupting again Thursday as tens of thousands of desperate Palestinians in the Gaza Strip tried to collect food from distribution sites run by a new U.S. and Israeli-backed foundation. Multiple witnesses reported a free-for-all of people grabbing aid, and they said Israeli troops opened fire to control crowds. In central Gaza, Associated Press video showed smoke bombs arching through the air around a distribution center, and gunfire was audible as an Israeli tank moved nearby. Witnesses said it was Israeli troops who fired the projectiles to clear large crowds of Palestinians after the center ran out of supplies. Turmoil has plagued the aid system launched this week by the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, which runs 3 distribution centers in the territory. Israel has slated GHF to take over food distribution in Gaza despite opposition from the United Nations and most humanitarian groups. And scientists say 4 billion people, or about half of the world's population, experienced at least 1 month, one extra month of extreme heat because of human-caused climate change from May 2024 to May 2025. The extreme heat caused illness, death, crop losses, and strained energy and healthcare systems. That's according to the analysis from the World Weather Attribution, Climate Central, and the Red Cross. The report saying that although floods and cyclones often dominate headlines, heat is the deadliest extreme event. It said that many heat-related deaths are unreported or are mislabeled by other conditions like heart disease or kidney failure. The scientists used peer-reviewed methods to study how much climate change boosted temperatures in an extreme heat event and calculated how much more likely its occurrence was because of climate change. In almost all countries in the world, the number of extreme heat days has at least doubled compared with a world without climate change. Caribbean islands were among the hardest hit by additional extreme heat days. Puerto Rico, the U.S. territory, endured 161 days of extreme heat without climate change. Only 48 would have occurred. In sports, there are 4 soccer teams remaining in contention for the prestigious 2025 Samuel P. Haven Jr. National High School Soccer Championship titles. The Lifer Key International School Dragons, senior girls and boys, Queens College senior girls, and Government High School senior boys have all moved on to the final round of competition after pulling off victories in the respective matchups at the Roscoe A.L. Davies Soccer Field on Thursday. In a rematch of last year's semifinals, the Lifer Key senior girls, the tournament defending champions, sent the C.R. Walker Lady Knights packing 2-1. The Queens College Comets went all the way into penalties against the Bishop Michael Eldon School Warriors and won 4-2. In the senior boys matchup, the Lifer Key Dragons dethroned the defending champs, the Windsor School, 4-1 to advance to final. And the GHS Magic Phoenix returned to the finals for the first time since 2023, defeating the St. George's High School 3-2. That's... You can get more on that in today's Guardian Sports section. Anthea Charlton became the second Bahamian to book a spot in the NCAA Division I Outdoor Track and Field Championships, securing her place in the women's long jump Thursday. Charlton, a junior for the University of Florida Gators, leapt 6.52 meters to finish with the third best leap in the NCAA East preliminaries. The 21-year-old Charlton had the impressive leap on her first attempt. Read more in today's Guardian Sports section. From the NBA, the New York Knicks getting a 111-94 victory over the Indiana Pacers. And they will live to see another day as that series will move on. But the Pacers still one win away to the NBA Finals if the Knicks can pull off another win. That's sports, and that's the overnight. Time for your first look at weather. In your weather for today, brought to you by the Guardian Media Group's Cruise Giveaway promotion. We've got that dry, stable air mass that is going to continue for at least now, courtesy of the persistent ridge of high pressure, bringing gentle, moderate breezes as well, and warm, humid conditions. Moisture ahead of a prefrontal trough may elevate the chance for isolated showers and thunderstorms across the northernmost islands beginning today, though. Elsewhere, the typical summertime pattern will continue as ample low-level moisture combined with strong heating will support the development of some light passing showers or possible afternoon thunderstorms. So again, that ridge is going to gradually lose its dominance over the area as a mid to upper level trough will steer this east of the islands. By Saturday, that prefrontal trough is expected to move closer to the northern Bahamas, introducing some showers for those islands, while a deep layered trough will pull rich tropical moisture over the rest of the country. So that combination is going to mean more unsettled weather as we get to the latter part of the weekend and into the beginning of next week. So there is a potential for some severe weather conditions, primarily thunderstorms, that will be strong to severe at times beginning Sunday into early next week. Until then, we are still dealing with the heat indices and the UV indices that are in the very high range. The heat indices can make you feel like it's in the upper 90s, close to 100 degrees, and the UV indices, again, very high. So you'll need sunscreen, sunglasses, protective clothing, limit outdoor activities if you can, and drink plenty of water. Your forecast for today, partly sunny, hot, and humid, turning fair to partly cloudy and warm tonight. For most areas, it will be muggy at times, especially for the central and southeast Bahamas. We've got a 30% chance of isolated showers for the extreme northern islands like Grand Bahama, and the rest of us a 10 to 20% chance of showers. Winds south to southwest at 10 to 15 knots for the northern islands, east to southeast at 10 to 15 knots with slightly higher gusts at times, shifting southeasterly later for the northwest and central Bahamas, east to southeast at 10 to 15 knots with higher gusts for the southeastern islands. Temperatures again hovering around 91 Fahrenheit, 33 Celsius, but the heat index will make you feel like it's 99 or 100 degrees Fahrenheit, 38 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 79 Fahrenheit, 26 Celsius. That's your first look at weather this morning. We'll have your extended outlook coming up in just a bit. This weather check brought to you by Guardian Media Group's cruise giveaway promotion. Guardian Media Group and Going Places Travel want to take you on a 7-day cruise for 4 to Panama, Colombia, Curacao, and Aruba on Royal Caribbean's Serenade of the Seas, and no visa required. A few ways for you to enter, including listening to Guardian Radio and picking up the National Guardian to fill out a form. And the entry deadline is June 27th, 2025, with the drawing on July 4th. Certain conditions apply. Airfare, taxes, and gratuities not included. The Guardian Media Group's cruise giveaway promotion.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up.
It is time for a break, but when we come back, we're discussing the day's top stories right here on your home for fresh news and smart talk all day. Guardian Radio 96.9.
It's the start of the end of the old way. A new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Been off the WSC grid for over a year? Now's the time to come back and save big. For a limited time only, the Water and Sewage Corporation is offering up to 50% off reconnection fees for customers disconnected for more than 1 year. Don't miss this chance to reconnect and enjoy reliable, quality water service at a discounted rate. Call 302-5599 to learn more. Water and Sewage Corporation, dedicated to dependable, affordable water solutions.
As a healthcare professional, you dedicate your life to caring for others. But even with the best care, legal challenges can arise. Protect your practice and your peace of mind with medical malpractice insurance from Star General. At Star General, we've partnered with Lloyd's of London to bring you comprehensive professional liability insurance designed specifically for those consulting or practicing privately. Visit our website today so you can focus on what you do best, caring for your patients while we take care of the rest. Star General, insurance made simple.
It's a Bahama Autumn X party. We got everything you need to have for a party. Come see for yourself. Balloons and banners, gifts and toppers, forks, plates, toys, chairs. Yes, we do rentals. Located on East Plaza, right on Prince Charles Drive. And we can order anything for you online. So party smart, party early, party often. With Bahamas odds and ends, party supplies.
You try to rest, but roll with the best. For all your printing needs, there ain't no one better, no. For posters and banners, magazines and flyers. For window decals, greeting cards and newsletters. No job too big and there's no job too small. You name it, we can print it. Just give us a call. Let Print Masters bring your masterpiece to life.
Located in the Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-2361.
BWF Pre-Inventory Warehouse Clearance Sale and Tent Sale, Friday, May 30th and Saturday, May 31st, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. For the best deals you will find, shop BWF for the biggest sale of the season. Great savings, great prices. Up to 50% off Pre-Inventory Warehouse Clearance Sale, Friday, May 30th and Tent Sale, Saturday, May 31st, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Come on in while supplies last. Grab your bargain today. Great deals and awesome savings. Savings include appliances, hand and power tools, generator, compressors, and water pumps, welding supplies, automotive and hardware supplies, lawn and garden supplies, kitchen and outdoor cooking supplies, barbecue grills, household supplies, bedding and bath supplies, junk and craft supplies, floral decor, and so much more. BWF, we are more than just our name. Number 13 Wilton Street, telephone 394-0004 or 6. Check us out on Facebook. We ship to the Family Islands.
Do you have uncontrollable debt? Are you ready to make that move to Fidelity for a stress-free future? These loans have a built-in savings plan that pays you unbeatable interest. Ask about our debt consolidation loans today. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
We are back with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. Also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas, Channel 969, and BTC Flow, Channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook.com/Morning Blend 969. Text us on the Guardian Radio text line powered by BTC 42247. 96 standard text rate supply. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Coming up this morning, we're going to be talking with the Easy Car Sales. They have launched their new BYD showroom in the mall at Marathon. I believe this is the first time anything like that has ever happened, and they're going to tell us about that and what we can expect in the electric car future today. Coming up later in business, it's our monthly series, our human resource series. Today we're talking about the 4 types of employees and the impact they can have on the workplace. We're going to get into all of that. That's all ahead, but right now let's get into what else is in the news. And in the news, as we continue to go through the budget, we're finding new things to talk about and new stories and new things that might get you interested. And there's quite a bit of that in today's Nassau Guardian. Government budgeting $10 million for a new parliament building. The slight decrease in what's in the budget for consultants, and no change in the budget for FOIA, the Freedom of Information Act. Let's talk about all of those. Getting a few messages from some folks, though, saying more power outages for them, 6 hours last night. Something's going on. And we do need to find out what is happening, especially for Western New Providence with BPL. Okay, so let's begin with FOIA. We just had Org Bahamas on, and they were appealing to people to get to their MPs to say something. But not this fiscal year coming up. It doesn't look so. No change in FOIA budget. Our Travis Cartwright Carroll writing about it. The government has once again budgeted $140,000. $140,000. Did you hear how much they were giving the consultants? It's in the millions, but $140,000 for the Freedom of Information Office in the upcoming fiscal year. Critics have said that the $140,000 allocation in this current fiscal year, 2024-2025, was inadequate, and the status of the full implementation of FOIA remains a mystery. Org Bahamas, the Organization for Responsible Governance, said it was sorely disappointed by the allocation. Information Commissioner Keith Thompson told the Tribune last year that the allocation could do nothing to help the office with its work. It's unclear if Thompson is even still acting as Information Commissioner. Over the last year, he's declined to give an interview about the work of the office. He's referred all inquiries to Deputy Information Commissioner Shane Miller. In January, following the opening of the legal year, Attorney General Ryan Pinder said FOIA should be fully implemented this year. He said at the time, we're working on a pilot program in select ministries and a training session in select agencies because the internal civil service likewise has to be trained on how to respond to requests appropriately. Now, I've been hearing that for a couple of years, though. How long is this training going on? Anyway, the first Freedom of Information bill, as you know, was passed in Parliament in 2012 under the Ingram, but was never fully implemented. An updated bill was passed in 2017, despite promises from every administration since then to fully implement the act. That has not happened. The full implementation of FOIA was a key promise of the 2021 election. However, it has appeared to be on the back burner of the Davis administration's agenda. In late 2023, Thompson told the NASA Guardian the only thing to affect implementation was the technology, which rests in the purview of the Office of the Prime Minister, and the tabling and passage of the FOIA regulations. In January 2024, however, Prime Minister Philip Davis said FOIA was not a priority of his government, and PLP Chairman Fred Mitchell said the party opposes FOIA, although he and Davis later once. Bahamas Bar Association President Khalil Parker has said that the public has a right to access information and as detailed in the law. The delay in fully embracing FOIA infringes on that right. Wow, $140,000. So that's what? Is that maybe one person's salary? Two maybe? Let's talk about it. What do you make of this, folks? 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Call us toll free, 242-300-5720. Right? So while that's going on, this is what's happening with consultants. Again, from our Travis Cartwright Carroll, the Davis administration has reduced its budget allocation for consulting coming fiscal year. Oh, reduced. The budget now shows that $59,409,580 is budgeted for consultants across 30 government ministries, agencies, and departments in the upcoming fiscal year, which starts July 1st. $59 million. In the current fiscal year, 2024-2025, the government allocated $76.6 million for consultancy services across 32 government ministries and departments. That was a $12.1 million increase compared to the previous fiscal year. The previous fiscal year was $64.4 million for consultancy services. So it's the lowest in 3 years, but $59 million. $59 million. The largest allocations include $9.8 million for the Ministry of Tourism, and $2.3 million for the Ministry of Education, $4.8 million for the Port Department, and $1.5 million for the Ministry of Immigration and National Insurance. What do you make of all that, folks? What do you make of all that? 3232 325 4316 325 4259. Call us toll free 242 300 5720. Let's take some calls. Good morning, caller. Let's get your reaction to all of this.
Hey, good morning, Dwight. You can hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, Dwight. Man, look, this is another example of the status quo management in this country, Dwight, right? Because at the end of the day, right, we should have been getting some other, some other things coming to us, man, right? When I hear the government, I'm talking about building that court, right?
Parliament.
The Parliament, right? All of that said, the means, well, because if you check.
You're breaking up.
Hello? When you reach in, hello?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
If you check all of the scripts from the last administrations, when you reaching into a general election, two things you always hear them talk about: freedom of information and the Parliament, right? Nobody, those two things, they aren't interested in them, right? They're just not interested in doing what they. We have to realize that they're only playing games with us, man, because $100 and something thousand for the to get that most important department open is ludicrous, man. We can spend $1 million on what is called them consultants. They might be needed, but I believe our Freedom of Information Act, I think that is far more needed than those consultants, because we really never reap the benefits of whatever these people are consulting.
Well, I don't know if you can say that. I'm not sure if you can say that. You might be shocked with what they do, but we can. Most of us can agree that it's not adequate what's being done with FOIA. Okay, so you mentioned it. Let me get that through, and then we can continue to talk. So you can have perspective on what's going on, where the money, what's deemed to be important. Right? So Travis Carroll again writing that the government has budgeted $10 million in the next fiscal year for the construction, $10 million for the construction of a new parliamentary building. The government projects that the total cost of the project will be $65 million. The figures are included in the government's draft estimates of revenue and expenditure for 2025-2026. Based on the figures, the project is expected to last at least until the 2027-28 fiscal year. Now, Foreign Affairs Minister Fred Mitchell has previously said, he says a lot, that there needs to be a new parliament building. The current parliament has been in use since 1815. Last year, Mitchell said he hoped that work on the new parliament would begin over the next 2 years. He said the design for the new building is with the Ministry of Works. And, so there's more on what he said about it. But anyway, so you hear it, $10 million for that. $140,000 for FOIA, and we don't even know what they're doing. Caller, what say you on this? We'll get to your text messages in just a bit. Caller, good morning. You're on the air. Hi, good morning. Hi, good morning. You're on the air live.
Hello?
Hi, yes.
Yeah, good morning. This is Grammy Boy, GNN.
How are you?
Right. I'm wonderful. Where have we gone from 1973 to a couple of $1 million in the black to 2025 to a couple of $1 billion in the black? Have we gone anywhere, Dwight?
I don't know what you mean by that, but of course we have. I mean, there have been great developments. Are we as far?
Going backwards.
Well, in some ways, but as far, we've definitely gone. We've gone places you might not like that we've gone. We're not as far as you might have hoped, and that I might have hoped. But we definitely have, for the most part, moved forward.
There is no way logics will tell you, like Mr. Spock used to tell Captain Kirk, that's not logical. You gone from $4 million or a couple $1 million in the black in 73 to $13 billion in the red, and be progressive. No, I don't agree with that. But Dwight, there's another thing. I don't know why we still doing the same thing over and over after 53 years. They calling about freedom of information. We never get it. And if my memory, GNN memory serves him correct, Mr. Fred Mitchell and them, these same PLP in the last couple of years say, dying on your business and you all ain't gonna get it. It's not necessary. You remember that, Dwight?
Not that it wasn't your business, that it wasn't really important to people.
It wasn't important.
That's what they said. Mm-hmm.
So
well,
what
unless we show them otherwise, they will think they're right. And that is what org and other organizations are telling you, that you have to let your MPs know that you really do want this. And
I totally agree.
Mm-hmm.
I totally agree. But we need to get it together, payments, and to figure out which direction we're going in a short while. Because obviously we running after a fool's gold still continuously. These guys are busy at work with sleight of hand. I think they need a new job. Thanks for taking my call.
Okay. Thank you very much. Caller, good morning. Are you there? You're live on the air.
Dwight, good morning. How you doing?
Doing well.
So this FOIA conversation that keeps going on in the Bahamas, when you understand the role that freedom of information plays in governance, and you think about its role in holding a government accountable, its role in creating an informed public so that the debate, the public discourse. Right now we're talking about, let's say if we decide we wanted to talk about the heads of agreement that was signed in Freeport or any other government relationships, we cannot speak about it from an informed perspective. We're speaking about it from what the government tells us. And I believe that that is an upside-down relationship. And any government that feels that it wants and promotes a society that thinks what it tells them to think, speaks what it tells them to speak, that's a dangerous government. Because an informed public is the public that I want. An informed society that has access to information is the society that I believe in. And I believe that the Bahamian people are at the place where they understand that successive governments have treated them as a kind of public that they want to manipulate. They don't want you to know what they're doing behind the scenes. And any government that wants that kind of a public should be a government that we reject.
Mm-hmm.
And I am saying that when you listen to Fred Mitchell's discourse, I know that you said in your communication earlier that Fred Mitchell has since walked it back. But I don't accept that. I believe he said that for political expediency. I don't believe that Fred Mitchell believes in freedom of information based on his earlier statement and his governance.
Well, I believe he believes it when he's in the opposition. But
exactly. In fact, all governments seem to have an interest in freedom of information when they are in the opposition.
Yep.
And I am asking the Bahamian people, if on any other basis you judge your government, whether they are the government that should lead you, judge them on this basis that they want to keep you in the darkness. And that is the basis on which I will judge this PLP government, because I don't want to be a citizen that speaks what Brave Davis tells me to say, that has an informed perspective based on only what he tells me. And so that is the basis on which I will judge them when I go to the poll in the upcoming election. And I stand firm on that. Right, that I will never embrace a government that don't believe in the freedom of information. That goes for the FNM and the PLP.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Let's take another call. Good morning, caller. You're live on the air.
Good morning. How you doing? Advocate violence or any kind of thing like that.
Well, don't do it today.
No, I'm just saying, but it doesn't bother me that every government promises to do right because they know that's what the people want. And they use it as a vehicle to get elected. But once they get in power, then all of a sudden, it's not important. And persons who support the government in opposition, all of a sudden, when the government gets in power, they sit by and be like, oh, the government ain't doing nothing wrong. They're doing everything right and they're doing a good job. And I'm like, but you are the same people who was protesting and help the other government get voted out because of lack of freedom of information. And now because your government is in, it's okay. It's like people are just getting tired of the same foolishness. And it's like no one's taking it seriously. And when Prime Minister Davis was like, he's not going to give any information on the hotel deal. Like, to me, that's mind-boggling in a society, in a civilized, democratic society. How can you not want the people to know how you're spending their money on? It's not Prime Minister Davis's money, you know. That's our money. We have a right to know whatever the government spends our money on our behalf. And they just don't seem to care. And why does it have to get to a point where people get upset that resort to violence before you make a change? That's all my concern is. Like, they don't take Bahamians seriously because they feel as if many Bahamians are passive and they just a bunch of talk and they're never going to do nothing. But why can't you just do the right thing for the sake of doing the right thing?
Okay, all right. Planting some seeds, I feel. But I hear you. But there are other ways to express yourself, and I don't think many people are doing that. People talk, they call in, they talk amongst themselves, they complain. But when you have the opportunity to say something to somebody outside of their very personal interests, as in, you know, I need this, my son needs this, I gotta, right? Let's take these calls really quickly. Good morning, you're on the air. Good morning, caller, you're live.
That's me, Dwight.
Yes, it's you. Good morning.
Good morning, Dwight, and good morning, Bahamas. Poppy. I don't know, some of what I hear you read on the news earlier, with the Prime Minister sound like he was in New York or something like that.
Yes.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's what he said. You hear the part where he say he can hold their hand. I mean, the government agree or will hold their hand.
Yes.
That's what we need.
That's what the local investors, the local business people, the Bahamians,
Mhm.
average Bahamian citizens who want to try to go make it, we need them to don't give up on us and hold our hand through it. Now,
Well,
another thing is,
you only have so many hands, I guess. I mean, maybe we need to elect octopus so they have multiple hands that can hold everybody.
we need to have enough strength to bring the money in, right? But
Mm.
we need to use the same strength for our people. Did he say anything, or anything was mentioned, like how we had, like, some people had bad impressions about us, investors in the past, who was reported on the news either being shaken down or allegedly or something. He didn't promise them that.
No. But I mean, from what I hear, FTX came up, but he said we emerged from that stronger than before.
He will hold their hand. He will hold their hand. Listen, the thing with Obi Ferguson, them not going out to march on Labor Day.
Mm-hmm.
Did I hear them right, or I misunderstood? The other unions said they ain't going either.
No, they said they are going.
Kingsley Ferguson, them and all of them. Tom.
The two other umbrella unions and all their affiliates will be
right
going.
on that TV station. I ain't calling no names.
Well, if it wasn't us, you probably didn't hear right. But
They say they go in.
but they all will be here. Most will be here with us next week as our annual Labor Week series. So you'll hear from them where things stand right before Labor Day.
Okay, that'll be good. Keep up the good work, right?
Thanks a lot. Let's squeeze these calls in really quickly. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Breaking up. Okay, let's take this one. Good morning. You're on the air. Hi. Are you there? No. Okay, let's read the messages. This person says here, so $140,000 for FOIA, but $59 million for consultants. Wow, they are seeking to balance the budget. My balancing will be done. Okay, wow. Elections coming, Dwight. They're trying to tidy up their reckless image, but too late. They're finished. Okay. Another one, more power outages and something's going on. Well, earlier this week, BPL put out a statement that there was damage to a cable. The first question is, what cable and how was the cable damaged? This is a disaster, pre-run, no fix, no communication from anybody. The Prime Minister who promised us KPIs a year ago, Urca, who has oversight or FOCAL, anyway. And the minister who promised us reliable electricity with introduction of a new R2 switch. Second thing going on is the heat pre-cable damage. We had power outages every single time. We had an unusually hot day. This is a long text. They've sold us a bag of promises that they will string out for the next 20 years, reminding us on each failure how damaged the system was when they got their hands on it, and how next year they'll have to solve the power crisis. The only tangible good news will be that the so-called shareholders' earnings report. Okay, that's someone who's angry with power outages making them see red. I understand. Oh my. This person says here, did you say $10 million for the new Parliament building when the project is $65 million? I wonder if the $10 million is really campaign funds. Well, okay, $10 million for this fiscal year, and the project's going to take about 2 or 3 years. So, it'll be stretched out, I guess. This person says here, I know you have hit out at me because I don't, and then I can't understand what this is. You really believe that it makes sense when these guys can't even allow the correct funding for FOIA. I don't know who you are, texter. I don't know what you're saying. What's going on? Hit out at you. Okay. But sure. No freedom of information, no time soon. Guardian Radio Talk is the closest we get to information. Thank you, and your talk shows. Okay. Well, that's very sad, but thank you. You're welcome. I don't know what to say, but we'll try to fill the gap. Oh, man. Scary. Bahamas would be, wow. Okay. Well, they're saying don't support any of these two major parties. They're calling them some very bad names, and that they don't care. Wow. This text, what Bahamian government development happened in recent times? Honest question. I agree with consultants, and I am sure they have put great information and ideas on the table or blocked the bad ones. However, BPL is jacked up. BTC is doing foolishness. That's mainly a private company, though. Crime is still out of hand, and banking is horrible. Education is still mostly inadequate. I'm sure consultants are needed, but are they being heard? Wow, that's a lot. This person says here, sounds like a consultation job is far more attractive and lucrative than a radio job. Well, I guess it depends on who you're asking. Why do you say that? What are you talking about? One final call? Yeah. Call you some of the final words. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Strachan. This is the melanin man. You see why I said melanin, right? Brace yourself for the heat, okay? But only the melanin will help you survive. Now, I don't know if you realize this, Dwight. You know, there is an unfreedom of the press, and you will know that. I mean, so I'm looking at how the consultants and the Freedom of the Information Act, they actually interface one another. Now, we listen to Guardian Radio, right? And we would have heard a number of pundits over the years. And so we can look at Dr. Pinto, Dr. Archer, Dr. Bessel, all of these people. We can look at Chicago Line, Pearly Cousins, the Jones lady he had on yesterday, Carbon Bow. There's a lot of people, there's a lot of intellectuals, and people that I listen to that I'm very impressed with that I know. I haven't called everybody's name, right, Mr. Strachan? Mm-hmm. And even so, some of your hosts at Guardian and all of you guys, why can't the government have Bahamian people involved with these consultations? And then the Freedom of the Information Act will show us what they're being paid. These people deserve, when we listen to Guardian Radio, even the normal citizen, there should be a forum in which people come forward and put forward ideas. There'll be deductive reasoning and deductive consensus, and then things go forward. Whether it be the marijuana bill, the building of the new prison, all these different things. Now, when we look at Parliament, I don't have a problem with the government building a new Parliament building because it's the people's building. But they, Dwight, do you read philosophy?
Somewhat. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because people get upset with the word sheep. This is how the people look at you. Sheep is only metaphor for people. In the large and the evil world, they use goyim. So they still look at us as that, Dwight. But what I'm saying is we are the problem because we, like you say, we just get together, we talk, we walk, whatever. But what I'm saying is, until the masses, there's another name for us, right? But this is how they look at you. It is very contemptuous. And, don't call Mr. Mitchell name because only God can take him out of politics. Mm. And he's very contemptuous to the human people. And I don't believe
52, I think they might.
Definitely not God.
I think they kind of listen, I mean, there have been a few things that we've talked about quite a lot. And eventually the government comes back and, no, he doesn't want to hear that. Okay. Eventually they come back and change their mind. They come, right? We've seen that where they hear the public outcry and they're like, that's not going to work. I kind of feel like that's what happened with the insurance thing. Although the insurance industry probably did lobby hard against that as well. But requiring people to get car insurance in their birth month, which really was not going to help in the issue of people who don't get car insurance at all. It wasn't going to make any difference with that. but there was a major outcry. I know we had a lot to say about it. And so sometimes they do listen. Sometimes they do. We wish it were more, but you just have to be consistent. We all have to be consistent. And, that's hard when there's so many things to talk about, but you've got to try to figure it out. Well, anyway, we got to take a break. When we come back, we got a lot to talk about on this Friday. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app. Nassau, Bahamas.
Got your first look at traffic for the morning, brought to you by RBC. With RBC, reaching your goals happens here. In real-time traffic, as usual, Mile Butler Highway is going to be a hot spot for you. We're seeing some heavy traffic near the Fire Trail roundabout if you're heading northbound. And then nearer to Harold Road, you see some cars ahead of you on the way, all the way up to Tonic Williams Darling Highway if you're heading northbound. Over on Glasson Road, it's been pretty good the last few days, but some slow-moving northbound traffic about midway through from Fire Trail up to the roundabout with John F. Kennedy Drive and Bahamas Boulevard. And as you get closer to that roundabout, you'll see some slow-moving traffic as well. Then we've got Blue Hill Road looking busy for you near Carmichael and near Soldier Road if you're heading northbound all the way to the roundabout with Independence Drive. Independence Drive backed up eastbound at the moment, and some slow-moving westbound traffic as well. North and south of the intersection with Soldier Road, East Street's going to be busy for you heading northbound. And Prince Charles Drive, especially near major intersections, very slow-moving westbound traffic as you make your way into Robinson Road, which isn't looking horrible right now, except for when you get west of Old Trail on the way to Marathon and East-West Highway. That's your real-time traffic and your Morning Blend traffic alert brought to you by RBC. With RBC, your ideas happen here. We'll be back with more Morning Blend after these messages and the news on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Measles is on the rise around the world, and the Bahamas is at risk,
which makes us very vulnerable as a nation for the possible outbreak of measles cases.
Every Saturday in May from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., the Ministry of Health and Wellness will host MMR immunization visits in South Beach, Coconut Grove, Fox Hill, and Elizabeth Estates. Clinics in these areas will remain open until 8 p.m. twice per week. Get your child immunized now.
At Cleveland Clinic, care is everything. So when your primary purpose is to care for the world, you'd start with your community until you're accessible anywhere. You make complexities your specialties and put compassion before anything else, all to redefine what's possible. For everyone, everywhere. For every care in the world. Cleveland Clinic.
Wake up and treat yourself to the breakfast you deserve with Wendy's new French toast sticks platter. 4 pieces of golden, crispy French toast sticks served with warm syrup, fresh cracked eggs, your choice of protein, and orange juice. It's sweet, savory, and everything your morning's been missing. Whether you dip, dunk, or just go all in, you'll never want to go back to your old breakfast routine. Better breakfast always starts at Wendy's.
Maybe it's time to explore your options. There's no harm in reviewing your mortgage arrangement and considering a better deal. CIBC Caribbean can help you narrow your search and decide. Switch your mortgage to CIBC Caribbean and enjoy a special interest rate and help towards your switching cost. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/inspired home for more information. Conditions apply.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Now in the street there is fire.
Shrek Avenue, and then we'll take it higher.
We are back with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan with you on this Friday morning. And so it was a big day yesterday for our friends at Easy Car Sales, the launch of their all-new BYD showroom in the mall at Marathon. Here to tell us all about this, we are very pleased to have back with us Pia Farmer. We also have Celeisha Elebute, Roseanne Johnson, and from BYD, Coco Lin. Good morning, ladies. Great to have you with us.
Good morning.
Congratulations. You've recovered from your big party yesterday.
I don't know if we've recovered. The voice hasn't quite recovered. But.
Oh, boy. All right, so this is a showroom in the Mall Marathon, an automobile showroom. The first time this has ever happened, right?
Yes,
You have cars occasionally for an auto show and cars on display at the center court. But
right.
Not a whole full-time showroom?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. And it's beautiful, beautiful. It is just gorgeous. Like somebody said, they walked in, they said, "This Miami, eh?" It's beautiful. It's, you know what it is? It's cool. It's comfortable. It's a convenient new way to shop for your EV.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And we have the beautiful BYD vehicles there. And we're going to be changing them around, all the time as we get new models. And you're going to be able to just come in there and do everything that you have always done out in the lot.
Mm-hmm. You can actually buy a car there?
And finance it and
okay.
lease it and do everything. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Rain or shine.
Yeah.
Rain or
that's a
shine.
good
I
way to
love
look at
that.
it. Yeah. Okay. So what inspired this?
What inspired it was BYD. BYD has been doing these showrooms all around the world. I think it's about 60, 70 countries already have these showrooms. And they have options for different types of showrooms. And one was the mall concept. So actually the design is made by Gensler design team in California.
Okay.
It's a very respected brand. And they design it and then for your specific space. So we found one of the units at the mall, which is right by the food court. That's the closest entrance. It's right next door to the food court. And then they send you the designs. And, well, in our case, we looked at them and we went like, oh, my God, how are we going to build that? But we did with local talent.
Okay.
Mr. Morris Ford, right, built this thing. And it's amazing what we can do, okay? I never thought we could deliver on that design, but it is ultra-futuristic, tech, fabulous.
Oh, wow. Wow.
And, there's like a coffee bar in there. There's a boutique with BYD branded stuff. And it's so chilled out. So instead of this summer going out in the sun, that's already too hot, like you were talking earlier today in the show, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's already so hot out there. So, you know what? It's so much more comfortable to just come to the mall at Marathon.
Absolutely.
And we take you for a test drive from there, too, as well.
Okay. Oh, excellent. Wow. So this is fantastic. And so you're going to have some models in there, but your other locations will still be open.
Yes, we're open Gladstone Road, Monday to Friday. Saturdays, we're 10 to 4, Gladstone Road. We're also opened on Abundant Life Road and the East-West Highway. And we're at the mall, 10 to 6 every day. And every day we're 10 to 6.
Wonderful.
So, come on down. We are so excited. The Electric Dream team is waiting to help everyone to, find their perfect fit of an EV and to drive away and to take a test drive and to drive away.
Yeah, excellent.
Soon.
Okay, so we have Coco Lin from BYD here. Coco, you didn't want to talk, but I got to ask you, being a part of the BYD team, just the market, the Bahamas market, compared to what's happening in the rest of the world, what are we seeing?
Bahamas market is one of the best among the Caribbean region because I'm responsible for the Caribbean region. So I would prefer to compare Caribbean Bahamas with other Caribbean islands. And in the Bahamas, we achieve the top market penetration among in the market. So in the Bahamas, we achieve more than 10% that we shared before. But for the other the island in Caribbean, we just started. So we would like to learn from PR and EZ Car Sales team how to promote the EV vehicles in the market, how we can compete with other brands. So we do have a lot of experience can learn from the team. So I really expect it in the future that all other Caribbean islands can be as good as the Bahamas market and also the EZ Car Sales team. Thank you so much.
Wow, look at that, Tia, you're doing big things. We can see that. You can see that all over the streets in New Providence.
Yeah, and
BYD
we just came back from the car show in Shanghai, and there was also a dealer conference, a BYD dealer conference, and people came from all of Latin America and the Caribbean. And I couldn't go because I was opening the showroom, but my husband went, and the Bahamas consistently came up in the top 3 for this and the other. We were so proud to be there and hear that we're doing well. But the Bahamian market is very open to electric vehicles. And we've done a lot to educate as much as possible. So I think we're seeing the rewards of that.
Yeah. So why do you think that is? I'm sure I know what the reasons are. But the market is so open to electric vehicles.
Well, I think we have several things in our favor. First, the size of our islands in general. Yes, we have some bigger islands, but for most islands, a fully electric vehicle is perfect. In Nassau, for example, we're really only plugging in our cars maybe once a week. Because on average, most people only travel 35 miles a day, maybe 40. Even in the United States, those are the figures. We think that the states, they drive very long distances. They really don't, because you just go to school, to work, to the shopping, and go back. So I think our size works in favor. Second, our desire to keep our beautiful islands, clean and at least not smelly and stinky with lots of smog and emissions. But the most important, I think, for most people is money. Money, because if you plug in your car, you'll be paying 1/3 or less than what you're paying for gas. And that's the bottom line. If you're spending, $60 a week on gas, I don't know how much a gas is now, but, let's say it's $6 or getting to that. If you spend $60 a week on gas, you'll spend about $15 on electricity instead. And you can put those other $45 in your pocket and in the local economy and use it to feed your kids or use it to save or something else, than gasoline. So I think that's very important. And finally, I think because as more people get into an electric car and tell more people about their experience, people are hearing that EV drivers are very happy. Bloomberg just put out a survey of something like 90,000 EV drivers, and I think there was less than 1% that said they would consider a gas car. And 92% would consider a second electric car. So it's so much nicer to drive, it's so much easier, much less maintenance, you're saving money. I think all those things, once people know, you have to empower people with information, and then they can be empowered to make better choices and put that money in their pocket.
Yeah, absolutely. Very well said there. Okay, so let's talk. I have to ask you this. BYD, every week I see an unbelievable concept car and this amazing luxury vehicle and the big giant SUV driving through a river. Are some of those other high-end BYD vehicles going to ever make it to this side of the world, or to the Bahamas, like Denza and some of the other brands?
Yes, for sure. This is one of our sacred planning in the future. You mentioned that, I'm happy to share what's our planning for the next step. So yes, we have Denza, we also have Fang Chenbao, we also have Yang Wang. 3 different focus more high-end people and more luxury. So we will bring this for sure for the Bahamas market, because for this market, the people not only very rich, they have more, the GDP per person is much higher compared with or other island or other Latin markets. Secondly, I think the people here are more open-minded for the new stuff. So we are willing to bring our new models, our new brand within BYD Group to the Bahamas market. So let's looking forward to it.
Okay, all right, that's going to be very exciting. Yeah.
Yes. Ooh, I had to organize another event. Listen, They just demoed a car that jumps. Like 8 feet or something, or so many meters. It jumps. So like if you're in heavy terrain and you have to go across a creek, you can get this car to jump over it. You know,
Can you do that in traffic too? Jump over
the potholes.
And potholes.
Potholes and hatchback drivers. Just, no, maybe not that.
But so, I mean, the technology, this is the thing that people don't realize, that BYD is first and foremost was a technology company. And when you go to Shenzhen and you go to their headquarters, you see all the things that they manufacture. They are in the solar industry, energy storage. If you have a tablet or an iPhone, half of them have a piece of BYD in them, you know, and they are in the chips. I mean, so many fields, including monorails and all kinds of things. So they're a technology company. So what the technology they're putting in their vehicles far surpasses anything that you're going to get from the old legacy brands.
Yeah. Wow. All right. So this text was asking, what about the upfront cost of an EV vehicle compared to gas savings? We're still getting questions like that.
Yes, of course, because the old legacy gas car companies are not going to let go just like that, you know. They have to put out their story as well.
Well, for persons wondering about the upfront cost of an EV, what I like to share with our customers is the fact that when you purchase a gas vehicle, your investment in mobility doesn't end there. You're going to spend at least $60 to $100 a week in gas, in addition services a year. So where you may have a small cost to purchase, the cost to own that vehicle is where you're going to end up spending more money than an EV driver that only has one checkup a year. That's $300 plus VAT. And so when you have a fixed cost to purchase, so to speak, as an EV driver, it's going to take you a while to creep up in terms of the ownership cost. But a gas driver is going to be paying forever and ever and ever as long as they own that vehicle.
And that gap is shrinking.
Very much.
Yeah.
I mean,
Very
we
much.
have vehicles starting at $30K now, you know? And there are some less expensive ones. It's just that we want to make sure that we bring high quality vehicles that are going to last a long time. You know, when you buy a BYD, you're not going to have to change that battery. They have an 8-year warranty, but you know, those batteries are made for the life of the vehicle. Now, there are some less expensive electric vehicles that may or may not have that quality, and we're not really interested in selling those. We want to sell the highest quality for export with factory warranty vehicles. The other thing about buying an electric car is that you are buying your fuel in advance at a fixed price. You know, electricity doesn't go up and down all the time. I know we complain it's expensive, but it's cheaper than gas for transportation. And it's a steady price. The thing about gas is that this week it might be 6, next week it's 5. Who knows what next war breaks out and it's 7. So what you're doing is you're investing in a fixed cost for your fuel for quite a long time ahead. And that also matters.
Yeah.
So it used to be that electric vehicles were much more expensive, but they're not. They're very competitive. You can get a Jeep from us now. Super nice Jeep for like, what, 37? Super nice Jeep with 8-year warranty, BYD, Pro. You know, and then you can finance it with us too. So it's a reasonable price if you want to go and buy a Jeep. Okay, it may be a little less, but like Roseanne said, you're going to be paying. You pay now, you pay later.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Let's talk about that. The financing. You even have lease options. Tell us about all those.
So we have a lot of different options to get our customers in a brand new EV. We have a lease to own program, so you can lease your vehicle with a view to own it. We have in-house financing, and right now with our in-house financing, we're offering a special promotion for our teachers that's ongoing until the end of June, and the teachers are test driving and entering to win at the end of June, a classroom makeover with a value of $1,500. So we're still encouraging our teachers. This is your appreciation. We want to show you some love. If you come in, we have flexible terms for you for financing, and you're also entering to win that dream classroom makeover.
And also the zero down, right? They're getting lower interest rate and zero down. So this is the opportunity for teachers to take control and empower themselves with their transportation, because we want them to get to school on time.
Right? And not stressed out.
And then also we have a test drive, a weekly test drive prize of $100 for a gift certificate from Book World as well.
What, anybody can win that if they...
No, teachers only.
Oh, teachers only.
Yes,
Okay,
this is
okay,
the
well, that's
teachers
fine.
promotion. And we're working with Book World, so we have to thank them very much for partnering with us on this promotion to appreciate our teachers.
Excellent stuff. This person says they're very happy with my BYD. I was paying $100 per week on fuel. That cost alone financed my brand new vehicle.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because you could take that money and put it towards your loan, what you're saving. You have to think about that. If the loan is, $500 a month or what it may be, and you're spending $200 a month on gas, then you can say, well, I can do this loan because it's really, I could put that money towards my loan.
Yeah. All right, let's take a break. When we come back, we're going to get some questions in, some more questions and some text messages. You can call us, folks, if you have any questions about EVs and BYD. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4. Call us toll free, 242-300-5720. We'll be back. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Out in the playground, in the dark side of town. Oh, we gonna rock down to Electric Avenue.
Now let me see now. 326 EPIC. Hello? Acquitted battery. This Miss Beulah from round the corner. I hear you're selling tires now on Wolf Road too.
Praise the Lord. It's about time. I live Fox Hill and Fire Trail. It's too far.
7 a.m. to 7 p.m. on Sunday and holiday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m.
My brother Sam, he's a hacker, and he could go right there and get fixed up.
Call us at 326-EPIC. We ship also to the Family Island.
Maybe it's time to explore your options. There's no harm in reviewing your mortgage arrangement and considering a better deal. CIBC Caribbean can help you narrow your search and decide. Switch your mortgage to CIBC Caribbean and enjoy a special interest rate and help towards your switching cost. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/inspired home for more information. Conditions apply.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time again from the island that gives you mince mutton, okra soup, and of course flour cake and rake and scrape. It's the 26th annual Cat Island Rake and Scrape Festival in beautiful Artistown, Cat Island. June 6th through 8th, we have acts such as Veronica Bishop,
He come here with the hands swinging.
Chino D, Stelito, Cupid, and of course our very own down-home guys like Lassido and the Boys,
I don't like no rigging and scraping in here.
Ophi and the websites, and much more in beautiful Artistown, Cat Island. June 6th through 8th. See you there.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and car body fasteners too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
Planning for retirement can be overwhelming, but with CFAL, it doesn't have to be.
We offer tailor-made individual, group, and pension solutions that take the guesswork out of retirement planning. Whether it's for you or your company, don't leave your future to chance and let the trusted hands of CFAL's experts guide you toward peace of mind and financial stability. Low upfront costs and affordable monthly payments make it easy for you to build wealth so you can live well. Visit us at cfal.com to start on your path toward financial freedom. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
Don't shop at Sherwin-Williams then. Don't get the best service in the Bahamas then.
The love is really, really strong in Sherwin-Williams. We don't just sell paint. We service you with a smile, good hearts, mind, soul, and body. And we love our customers as much as we love ourselves. Yes. Real talk. I'm not just saying this to impress myself. We love to go beyond with customer service. So they feel delighted to come in Sherwin-Williams because they know I can either see Dee Dee, or I can see Shelly, or one of our other wonderful staff members. We treat our customers with the respect of our boss because there are many paint companies they could choose to go to. No, baby. If they go to some other paint companies, so I gonna get this little thing at the end of the week.
We want to make sure you get that little ting, Shelley. Come visit Shelley and Dee Dee at Sherwin-Williams, Bahamas, and you'll surely find colour in every day.
All those loans I had were so overwhelming. Fidelity's debt consolidation loan combined all my loan payments into one easy payment with a built-in savings plan that pays me unbeatable interest. It's time to make that move to Fidelity. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
Saturday, May 31st will be hype because the Free National Movement and Nassau top DJs are taking over.
We taking over.
RM Bailey Park, Robinson Road, with the F&M Annual Fair and Raffle. Bring the whole crew. That's family, friends, and even your pets. There will be cooked and grilled food. Music by the Infinity Band, featuring Novi Pierre, plus the Pope of DJs. Tank, Select the Zone, featuring DJ Whopper, DJ Cannon, DJ T-Mac, and DJ Ace of Spades to keep the party going all day long.
It's yours truly, Select the Zone. Catch me live at the F&M Fair. It's going to be fun, pretty great fun activities. Also, some lucky winner is going to walk away with a grand prize drawing of $10,000. You heard it from Select the Zone. I'm fully endorsing the message. You'll catch us live. You'll come out, and some lucky winner is going to win big with the F&M.
Get your tickets from the F&M headquarters on Mackey Street or any F&M party member.
It's your boy DJ Tank, the Pope of DJ Affairs. Come meet me and Nassau's top DJs. Saturday, May 31st, Iron Bailey Park, Robinson Road. The vibes are free, the food is hot, and the cash is real. Big money, $10,000.
Unstoppable together.
Are you ready to elevate your day with a burst of flavor? Look no further than Dunkin', your ultimate destination for everything delicious. From our freshly brewed coffee that is sure to pick you up, to our signature frozen beverages that will cool you down. And don't forget our mouth-watering sandwiches, made to order all day. Dunkin' has it all. And of course, our lineup of fresh donuts, muffins, and more. Dive into a world of yummy flavors at Dunkin' and bring joy to your day. The Bahamas runs on Dunkin'.
The 2025 Samuel P. Hagan High School Soccer Nationals are here. May 15th through 16th in Grand Bahama. May 21st to 30th in Nassau at the Roscoe A.L. Davies Field. Top teams from Nassau, Freeport, Eleuthera, and Abaco battle for the crown in the Duncan Girls and J.S. Johnson Boys Division. Calling all junior Junkin groups. Come out, bring the vibes, and rep your school. Inclusive matches, music, food, and family fun daily. Gates open at 3 p.m. Visit bahamasfa.net. Be there.
Now let me see now. 326 ETIC. Hello? This Epic battery. This Miss Beulah from round the corner. I hear you're selling tires now on Wolf Road too.
Praise the Lord. It's about time. I live Fox Hill and Fire Trail. It's too far.
That ain't all. They open Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. On Sunday and holiday, 8 a.m. 4 p.m.
My brother Sam, he's a hacker, and he could go right there and get fixed up.
Call us at 326 EPIC. We ship also to the Family Island.
Calling all
all beer lovers. Get ready for Portside Pints. Join us on Saturday, June the 21st from 1 p.m. to 9 p.m. at Nassau Cruise Port to sample beers from all around the world with live music and amazing Bahamian food. $10 general admission includes a free Portside Pints beer mug, or take it up a notch and check out our exclusive VIP lounge. That's the Portside Pints Beer Festival, June 21st at Nassau Cruise Port. Don't miss it. Visit Facebook or Instagram for details.
Time for your final look at weather for the morning, brought to you by Sherwin-Williams. Are your walls giving major L? Well, time to fix that at your nearest Sherwin-Williams paint store. We've got the vibrant colors delivered with professional vibes. Done listening will start glistening with Sherwin-Williams paints. So weather, here's what's happening. We've got relatively dry and stable conditions. That will continue at least for today, but prefrontal trough activity may elevate shower chances and even thunderstorms, especially for the northernmost islands beginning today. Elsewhere, the typical summertime pattern will continue with low-level moisture combined with some daytime heating. That's going to cause some passing showers or possible isolated afternoon showers. So with that trough, with that ridge, we are looking at that moving east of the islands, and that's going to allow for that prefrontal trough to move towards the northern Bahamas, and that's going to bring showers across the area, while a deep layered trough will pull in rich tropical moisture over the rest of the country. So this combination is going to mean more unsettled weather for the latter part of the weekend into the beginning of next week, the first week of June. And so there's a potential for severe weather, including thunderstorms, beginning Sunday through to the early part of next week. In the meantime, we're going to have to deal with these heat indices that are going to make it feel like it's close to 100 degrees, and UV indices that are going to be in the very high range. So your forecast for today, partly sunny, hot, and humid, turning to partly cloudy and warm, even muggy tonight. A 30% chance of isolated showers or thunderstorms for the extreme northern islands, but for the rest of us, about 10 to 20% chance of showers. Slightly more elevated in the southeast Bahamas. High temperatures around 91 Fahrenheit, 33 Celsius, but the heat index will make it feel like it's 100 degrees Fahrenheit, 38 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 79 Fahrenheit, 26 Celsius. In your extended outlook for Saturday, the final day of May 2025, partly cloudy to cloudy in the northern Bahamas, partly sunny elsewhere, a 30 to 40% chance of isolated showers and thunderstorms for the extreme northern islands. By Sunday, the first day of June and the first day of the Atlantic hurricane season, partly cloudy to cloudy across most of the country, northern, northwest, and central islands, a mix of sun and clouds for the southeastern islands, a 30 to 50% chance of showers and thunderstorms. That's going to hold through to Monday and into Tuesday as well. Some changes perhaps by the middle of next week. But that's your morning blend weather check. Weather check also brought to you by Star General Insurance Made Simple. And your final look at traffic brought to you by RBC. RBC, with RBC, reaching your goals happens here. In your real-time traffic, we're still seeing some slow-moving traffic on Tawny-Williams-Darling Highway, especially westbound towards Milo Butler Highway at this hour. And west of that area, some slow-moving traffic, both directions. 6-second roundabout, you're going to be seeing issues on the John F. Kennedy Drive side, that's eastbound, and on the south side, that's New Providence Highway, as you approach that roundabout. Saunders Beach, still a bit of slow-moving traffic on West Bay Street eastbound, just west and east of the roundabout. And then we've got Milo Butler Highway, still a bit of congestion for you northbound over on Blue Hill Road. Heavy traffic for you just north of Carmichael on the way to Independence Drive. Independence Drive, both directions, seeing heavy traffic this morning. and East Street northbound, north of Soldier Road, heading into Robinson. You're going to be seeing some very slow-moving traffic ahead of you. East Street's going to be a challenge in multiple spots, even as you get closer to downtown. And Prince Charles Drive still busy for you westbound at this hour. That's your real-time traffic and your Morning Blend traffic alert brought to you by RBC. With RBC, your ideas happen here.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.
Now in the street there is violence, and lots of work to be done. No place to hang out or washing, and I can't blame all on the sun. Oh no, we're gonna rock down to Electric Avenue, and then we'll take it higher.
And we are back with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Pia Farmer and Roseanne Johnson, Celeisha, Elebute, and Coco Lynn. We're talking about their new showroom.
Yes, the
In the
beautiful
Mall Marathon,
showroom.
the BYD showroom.
With this temperatures and the rain, I mean, it's perfect. You can come shopping for your electric car in the mall.
There you go.
Yeah, cool, comfortable, convenient.
And then go to the food court and get something.
Exactly. We're right by the food court, so you can or you can have a coffee on us or tea.
Hey.
We have a coffee bar there, so you can come drop by, have a chat. You can buy your branded BYD shirts and everything there as well. And, the nice thing the next 6 months is that when it's so hot and rainy and miserable and humid, you can come to the mall and chill out with us.
All right, so that brings up an interesting question we get a lot. Rainy season, it's supposed to have started by now, but not yet.
I know it's coming. It's coming.
It's coming. And we're going to say, where did all this rain come from, right? But that's not a concern for EV drivers at all, right?
No, not at all.
Our batteries are airtight sealed, so you can drive straight through any water that the rain would create, puddles and stuff that people are worried about. You drive straight through it.
Yeah.
I've experienced it firsthand in one of our vehicles.
No reason to be afraid or anything.
No reason.
Don't drive through Lake Killarney or Lake Cunningham, right?
Well, not in one of these ones. Maybe when we bring the higher brands, they're like boats, maybe. No, I mean, let me tell you, I've been driving them for 8 years, electric vehicles, through every kind of rain, every street, all the things, okay? Nothing has ever happened because Celeisha says they're completely sealed. Plus, you don't have an exhaust pipe through which water could come in.
Right.
And
it won't get into the engine or
Right.
doing those things.
Right.
It won't stall out.
Right. So we don't have that. And we often leave those gas cars on the side of the road and cruise straight through any deep water.
Wow. Wow. So if you have any questions, continue to send them in. Text us 422-4796 or call us 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259, or toll free 242-300-5720. All right, so we got some text messages. We'll get to those in a bit, 422-4796. But we know the commercial market has taken to BYD. We see them all over. Let's talk about that and what your offerings are for commercial vehicles.
Right. So we have electric vans. You would have seen them. Cable Bahamas has 50 of them. DHL is fully electric with our vans as well. And about half of our business is commercial.
Oh, boy.
Because, if you have a business and you have a fleet, you're spending an enormous amount of money on that fleet, on the fuel for it and so forth. So businesses love electric vehicles because it saves them so much money to the bottom line and can make a big difference when competing with other businesses and to your bottom line. So we have vans. The T3 is what we call it, yeah?
Yes.
The T3, the white van. Also, we have pickup trucks. We have other things. We have flatbeds, big box trucks, and so forth. And businesses are really loving it.
Yeah. So how does it work if you do have a fleet, 20 or more vehicles? How are you going to navigate charging all of those?
Oh, well, there's many charging solutions. So for a consumer, you get a home charger that we install in your house. We also have solutions for apartments and condos where people can share charging. So we have a solution for that in effect now. For businesses, you can also get faster charging. So, okay, it depends. If a business doesn't work at night, you just plug them in overnight. Every day, if you're traveling 180 miles a day. Otherwise, you have fast charging solutions where you can charge the car in maybe up to 80% in about 30 minutes. So we have all those solutions available for fleets.
Oh, that one sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, there are. BYD has just come up with charging these batteries in 5 minutes. But the problem is you need 1,000 kilowatts, to charge that car in 5 minutes, and we don't have anywhere.
So we'll have to ship our cars to a different place and then bring it back so we can charge them.
It's not that it's not possible to do it in 5 minutes, but in our country we don't have yet that infrastructure, and we would have to have the BPL and a concerted decision by government to get into the infrastructure. The government provides a lot of infrastructure, lighting, sidewalks, roads. We've heard all about it in this budget. But we need to also concentrate on the infrastructure for charging EVs. The more we make that available to people, the more they will adopt electric vehicles.
Are they having that conversations with you? Do you know if that conversation is happening at all?
No, I don't know. I don't think it is that I'm aware of, but I'm not privy to what the government is thinking about. I don't see evidence of it, let me say. So we are trying to provide as many solutions as possible. But there's a bunch of regulations and laws and various departments. We always suffer when there isn't policy set out, okay? Policy is key. Policy is what makes businesses invest the kind of money we've just invested in this showroom or in that property across there. Policies are what helps business people to know what the rules of the game are so we can play it. And where there are no policies, we suffer because we are in incertitude. We don't know, we don't have the answers. So, for example, there is legislation saying one can't sell electricity.
Right.
So where does that leave anybody who wants to do a network of chargers?
Oh boy, would that count as that?
Well, you understand what I'm saying? I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. So right now, people don't have public charging other than the free chargers that we have been installing, around the island for people, or the ones that businesses have installed to attract customers, because, it's proven that if you offer free charging, people will come to your store, spend more time and more money. So, there are many things that we don't have policies on, that we don't have. For example, anything to do with electric cars, bringing in secondhand electric cars. Are we going to have any regulations? Maximum they should be, because the technology moves so quickly. Right. What are the rules about the batteries? What are the rules? As authorized dealers, we have certain responsibilities about making sure that those batteries are recycled and so on. But somebody bringing in secondhand Chinese domestic vehicles, what's going to happen with those batteries, for example? And we have no rules. We have no policies. We have no, is anybody paying attention to it? I thought we were, but I haven't seen much action on it.
Wow. Oh, boy. This texter's asking, what happens after the EV battery loses power, eventually goes bad? How long does it take to get a replacement battery? Is it difficult, and how long does it take to repair BYD vehicles after they're in a car accident? How long does it take to get the parts, and are they expensive?
Okay, can we take one at a
It's
time?
a lot.
All right, first of all, as I was saying, batteries today are made to last the life of a vehicle. For a gas car, the life of a vehicle is calculated to be about 14 years. I think for an electric vehicle, we might see it lasting much longer than that. Batteries don't fail like that. It's a very small percentage of batteries that fail. I think it's probably under 1%. In the early days, the batteries could only take you maybe 90 miles or something. So as that early technology started you couldn't hold enough energy to take you far enough, people changed their batteries. That's not necessary anymore. These batteries do not lose their ability to hold energy like that. After 8 years, you might have lost maybe 10% or something. That isn't going to affect you when your range is 300 miles. You know, you could still drive that car forever if it only goes 270 miles instead of 300 miles, you know. So it's not an issue anymore. Should the battery fail, BYD has an 8-year warranty on that battery, so it won't cost you anything, and it will be replaced rather quickly. We have been getting extra batteries from BYD to have in stock so that we can change a battery. But it's not something we do very often. It's quite rare for us to do it. Parts, we're obliged under our dealership agreement to keep stock of parts. However, in this traffic where people just, are having, little bumper, fender benders, that's a thing. So we keep extra, lights and bumpers and whatever, but there might be a time where you have to wait for a part. In terms of crashing, it's the same to repair an electric car as it is to repair a gas car. If you, bang your hood or your door or whatever, it's not any different. So I don't think you need to think of an electric car as being in any way different in terms of maintenance, service, after an accident.
Yeah. You talk about people renting and solutions for those. Somebody's asking about that. So how do I do this? If I'm renting, how would I charge my vehicle? Is there portable charger that I could take with me so I don't have to get the landlord involved? How does that
that's
work?
what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Policies and vision in terms of, for example, I go to Eleuthera a lot. I love Eleuthera, and there are hundreds of cars being rented in Eleuthera, all gas, many of them not in great shape. But if we just installed 3 chargers, north, central, and south Eleuthera, fast chargers that the public could access, maybe those rental companies could transition to electric. And then people who are coming to visit will love it to drive electric because many of them haven't had a chance to drive electric. Same thing in Nassau. Why don't we have the thinking about a public charging network going on? That would facilitate all tourists, all rental cars, and so forth to be able to charge. Right now, you can't, except in the free charging that is around. But, that's not fast charging.
No.
Maybe we would
Roseanne?
want to plug in
Something
right
like that.
here. Yeah, for our customers that are renting, most landlords are kind of savvy about the charging, particularly because you are being billed specifically. So it won't affect anything at the apartment. The person that's renting is actually paying their own bill. And so it really is of no consequence or any damages to an apartment complex. So, as long as they're pulling up and they can access the charger, it's, most of landlords that we have had customers talk to, they're quite willing to have them install the wall box. It's a little small device that we just put right onto the wall and they're able to charge their vehicles. So it's worthwhile for, landlords to know that it won't damage you in any way. There's no effects to your building, your physical building. And when that customer leaves, it's a small device. We just unhook it off the wall and they take it to their next apartment as well.
Well, and we've said it before, it's time for designers, builders to be thinking about this.
Always preparing, preparing for it. So you have to keep that in mind. And like I said, now in condos and apartments, we have this solution where people can share chargers. And in fact, the homeowners association can charge a fee for that facility to the tenant. And then, they pay a certain amount, a rate for their electricity usage.
Yeah. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Morning, you sparked my interest. Just run the math on achieving 1,000 kilowatts I need about 300 solar panels, each giving about 300 watts each. That's not including the inverters and what else, the batteries. That's totally unrealistic in the Bahamas. But
Well,
I
I
want to ask
think-
you something else here.
I think that if you're doing solar, you're not expecting to charge your car in 5 minutes.
No.
Right, so solar is fantastic. I have solar in my house that covers about 70% of my annual needs because I couldn't afford to do the full-on, 100%. In fact, the last 2 months I've had a credit on my electricity bill.
wow.
Sorry to tell y'all. But I charge 4 cars from solar at home because we have, cottages and my sister lives there and we have several cars. And we charge from solar. So when you're doing solar, really the best way to think about it is to have solar for your house and then plug in your car as well. Not to think of a solar carport. Unless you're looking at a business or a government building, that would be ideal. Imagine civil servants going to work, plugging in under the solar array in the shade now because you got the solar panels, going to work and going home with a full tank, as it
that'd
were.
be amazing.
But why not? Why not?
We need to do that here. The Guardian, hint to... Go on, caller, sorry.
Yeah, Bill, have you done the statistics on which is better, having a hybrid so that I can go from the gasoline to the electric? Is that a better option, or you just sell the...
You're about to set Pia off.
No. It's a great question. It's a great question because what it is they're trying to sell you on a hybrid because they want you to have to come and service now the combustion engine element and the electric thing and everything that talks to each other. It's actually, in my opinion, the worst of all worlds. In the Bahamas, because we don't have range anxiety in most islands, it's much easier to go directly to 100% electric and don't pass go and don't pass the hybrid thing. It's not
And
necessary.
not even plug-in hybrid,
Yeah, because they sell it, propaganda. I mean, I'm talking about legacy. I'm not talking attacking anybody locally, but the big brands are now selling their hybrids like electric. They're electric. They're not electric. They're gas. Okay, once you got to go to the gas station, put gas in the car. It's a gas car. Now it may run some of the time on electric, and that's all very nice. But in fact, they're finding out that they're not that great for the environment, because there are problems with people driving hybrids in urban situations, and then when they kick into the gas, when they go longer range, they're actually very dirty. So the EU is investigating hybrids now. But in the Bahamas, I would say do not bother with that. We don't need it. Why do you need all those extra bits? So much easier to just go 100% electric.
Wow. One final call. I'm running out of time. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Well, good morning, Dwight, and to Miss Farmer, Graham Weatherford.
How are you, Graham?
One of the first electric cars to the Bahamas, the Nissan Leaf.
Yes,
And
you still got yours.
had it for over 6 years.
Wow.
And it's been charged from the sun from day one, Dwight.
Wow.
And so Ms. Farmer's correct. Why would you have a car with two motors in it where you need two mechanics, a gas mechanic and an electric? Well, you don't need an electric mechanic. Why would you go from no mechanic to having a car that needs a mechanic? So go straight to electric, because we only have a 20-mile island.
Yeah.
And these cars can do 300 miles on one charge.
Yeah.
But yes, we should have had solar on every rooftop. Yeah. We should have had solar parking lots, shading the cars so the paint doesn't fade, Dwight. And I'd like to put one right there by the Guardian.
You're paying for it? If you're offering to pay, I'm sure we'll be open to it.
No. Carbon credits from countries that don't have sun in the winter. We'll put that sucker in for free as soon as I become the minister. You see, there's a lot of things we should have been doing. We shouldn't have had light bills in this country. Why are we burning fossil fuel? And it's so hot today, I got to find a tree to get under. Be crazy, you know. But let's fix the Bahamas. Rich people do crazy things. But yes, an electric car makes a lot of sense. I like it so much, Dwight. I got an electric scooter.
Yes, that's true.
It charges from the sun.
Oh, wow. That's
and I got a solar-powered watch.
Wow.
So why are we not using, we hiding the talent God gave us?
Yes.
Anyway, y'all have a good one.
Thanks for
Let's
calling,
fix the
Graham.
Bahamas.
Thank you so much, Graham. Appreciate it. Wow. All right. So people want to find out more about the models you have. Where can you get more information?
So we are open today in the mall, cool, convenient, and comfortable from 10 to 6. We're also open on Gladstone Road from 9:30 to 5, and also our Abundant Life Road and the East-West Highway location. So they can come into any one of those locations, and the Electric GM team is excited to take care of you today.
All right, somebody's asking about the lease program. They can find out more information online, or do they need to come in?
Yeah, they can come in, or they can call us at 461-0100. And we'll be happy to take care of them and answer all of their questions with regards to the lease and in-house financing.
They can also visit our website, easy242.com. They can also email us as well at byd@easy242.com.
Okay, wonderful. Wonderful
Yes,
stuff.
it's exciting. So come and see the store. Oh, and we're going to hold all of our events and everything there, and it's going to be exciting. We're really very happy. You know, people were already trying to buy cars before we even opened.
Wow. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So if you buy there, where do you, the once a year servicing, where do you do that?
Wherever you prefer, at Abundant Life, right across, diagonally across from the
pretty
mall.
close.
Or at Gladstone Road, depending where you live. No problem. We even have, a service that will come and get the car if you want to pay for that.
Nice. And Coco, I hope this is your first time in the Bahamas. Hope you have had a good time here.
I had a many times good time here in the Bahamas, and I'm really looking forward to come back. I will leave today, but I'm hoping for next event from the Easy Car Sales team.
Wonderful stuff. Coco Lynn with BYD, and of course Pia Farmer, Roseanne Johnson, and Celeisha Elebute with Easy Car Sales. Thank you for being with us this morning.
Thank you so much for having us. We're all going to go rest now.
All right, we're going to break for news, and when we come back, it's our monthly human resource series. We're talking about the 4 types of employees and the impact they have on your workforce. And so that's going to be an interesting discussion coming up right after this. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Electric Avenue, and then we'll take it higher. Oh, we're gonna rock down to Electric Avenue, and then we'll take it higher.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Friday, May 30th, 2025. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan, and it is time for a monthly HR series, our Human Resource Series, and Amad Rashad Thompson is back with us. Good morning, sir.
Indeed. Good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Bahamas. It's so great to be back with you again. Yet another month, Dwight.
Hey, time is flying. Time is flying.
Indeed.
Almost June.
Almost June. Wow.
Wow. Well, this one today, this is going to be a hot one. We're talking about the 4 types of employees and the effect or impact this has in your workplace. Okay, 4 types. Is it only 4?
There are largely 4.
Okay.
By and large, 4 types of people that will join your organization, remain in your organization, and eventually leave your organization.
Wow.
Leave either by hook or by crook, as Grammy would say, but either leaving because they are no longer fit, and the organization determined that they would want to move on from this person, or leaving because they feel like they've reached their max and they want to move on their own.
Yeah.
Okay. As we all know, that there are 3 ways that a person can leave an organization: retirement, termination, and/or resignation. And in most cases, these 4 individuals will fall into
or by death, maybe.
Or by death, but we want to be more
positive,
hopeful and
That's right,
positive,
right,
and speak life.
Yeah.
And most often, these 4 categories of people, as I talk about them in my workshops and with my clients, they immediately identify who these individuals are. And this is where some of the problem comes in. Because what we'll do to level set the conversation, Dwight, we will define what an organizational culture actually is. So organizational culture is a set of beliefs, a set of values, and a set of behaviors that influence the way we interact, the way we make decisions, and the way we perform in an organization, right? So the culture is based on and built off of those shared values, shared behaviors, and shared beliefs. When we have that congruence between the organization and the employees, then those things start to inform how we perform, how we make decisions, and then how we interact with one another. The thing that happens, though, Dwight, is that there are often people in organizations that go against these shared beliefs, values, and norms, or don't believe in them, right? So we get these 4 categories of employees. And the 4 categories of employees are simply this: willing and able, willing and unable, unwilling and able, unwilling and unable. Now, that sounds very elementary. It sounds very simple. That's not a big deal. But the trouble is that when you now think about what each category represents and what they can cost an organization, that's where the conversation goes a little bit more deeply. So those willing and able are what we call the champions, what I call the champions. They're the ones that are always going to be on, Dwight. They are there no matter what. Anything buck up, go, they're still going to push through for you. They're going to ride. They're going to see this thing through to the end. These individuals are not to be forgotten or ignored, but they don't need you reading on their back. You have that willing and unable, which I call the student. Now, this is a sweet spot because Dwight may be willing and just uncertain, unable. He needs to develop a skill, develop a craft, get sharper on a particular area. That is something that you want in an organization. You want individuals who are hungry, but need some more guidance on how to do it and what to do. So their will is there and needs some development on their skill, right? And you would find good HR people with skill any day. Because some of our skilled individuals believe that because they are skilled, they are entitled to or exempt from things. So they're entitled to more leeway, entitled to more lenience, entitled to foolishness, to do foolishness, and then they're exempt from rules and regulations because I'm so sharp, you can't be talking to me. Right?
Right, okay.
Then we have the unwilling but able. Now this is dangerous. This is what I call the threat. This person is fully capable, but is choosing not to show up and or showing up when they want to. It goes beyond just a lack of desire. It now becomes almost cancerous in an organization because they're looking at the willing and unable and telling them you're doing too much. Calm down. Why are you going through all of this? Right? And then we have the unwilling and unable. Dwight.
Well, should we even talk about them?
We should.
We should?
Here's why.
I mean, who put
these
them
people are... It doesn't matter who put them there, no matters more who's keeping them there.
Wow, okay.
That's the trouble we face because that willing and able, that person who's going to give you their all no matter what, is watching the way you interact with and engage those persons that are unwilling and unable, and that individual that is unwilling and able. Okay? Now, the unwilling and unable, I call them the expendables. These individuals should not be allowed to come in your door tomorrow.
Exactly.
They should not.
Right.
Because at some point they made an active decision to no longer bring value to the organization and suck all the value out of the organization. They don't want to, and they can't. If you had to hire a mechanic today, Dwight, and you went to him, okay, PA was just here, talking about the EV vehicles. You go to a mechanic and you ask him, hello, do you have a proficiency in fixing electric vehicles? And he says to you, no, I don't. I don't even care for those kind of cars. And you say, you know what? No matter. I will leave the car with you. Please have it ready for me at 4 p.m. today.
You deserve
would you leave
whatever
them?
you get.
Whatever the man do to your car, you deserve.
Right.
So why would you have an individual in your organization that is telling you I don't want to, showing you I can't, and you're paying them every week? And you're also paying the person who is telling you I want to, I'm able to, I want to do more. How are those two individuals allowed to coexist? Right? And the unwilling and able is now going to intentionally and very effortlessly affect and demean your culture. Because those shared beliefs now become contaminated by this person's unwillingness and inability.
Wow. Yeah. So many questions.
Let's dive right in.
Okay. All right. So the unwilling and able.
Yes.
It seems, correct me if I'm wrong, but something led them to this place.
Absolutely. And this is where leaders and organizations make the mistake. They write this person off, but allow them to stay. Right? You know why? Because the person is performing still. There's still an ability, Dwight.
Yeah.
I am sharp. In fact, I might be the sharpest in your box.
Yeah.
And so you can't afford to lose me. This is what the employee is thinking, and this is what the employer perpetrates. They allow me to diminish, to demean, to degrade, but because I meet the target every week, because I continue to overperform, because I continue to bring in the results, I am now considered untouchable.
And you know where all the bodies are buried, baby.
I've been around a long time. I know exactly where the navel string bury. I know your mix-up. I know his mix-up. Y'all can't touch me.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell people coming in, they can't do nothing with me.
Wow.
Okay? Well, additionally, we reward this individual because in most companies, there is a reward structure. Some people are falling behind the standard in that regard, but most companies have a way to reward you for the efforts that you've put in. And because Mary, Susan, and Paul continue to perform, but are catastrophes to be around, they must still be rewarded because your policy calls for it or your standard calls for it. So because Susan made the target this week, she gets the so-and-so. But Susan ran a place causing everybody to have also high blood pressure and low sugar. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Now, if you are a good leader, you have recognized that something went awry with Susan. With Paul, when Paul first started this company, how many years ago? Paul was a rider. Paul was a willing and able person. But somewhere down the line, Paul's willingness started to deteriorate. Right. His ability never faltered. Because Paul still has an interest in performing and doing well. But Paul is now losing interest in your organization. So he's now starting to affect and potentially infect your organizational culture. Right? You need to do the hard work and talk with Paul. Paul directly, not those that Paul influences, not the ones that have Paul's best interest at heart. But Paul, look, man, something ain't right. Mm-hmm. At what point? And you probably know exactly what and when it took place. Yeah. Right? But we choose to.
Paul be
rehabilitated?
Yeah.
Yes, he can. Yes, he can.
I mean, but they want their own way, I'm sure, right?
Paul,
Isn't that it?
Paul wants his own way because we keep giving it to him, Dwight.
Oh.
People only do what they are allowed to do. In any circumstance in your life, anyone in your life, Dwight, has only ever done what you let them. Once you told them they couldn't, they tried one more time, just to make sure you wasn't, having an off day. And when they realized that, oh snap, Dwight mean business, they didn't bring that to you anymore. They took it somewhere else, or they realized, I can't do this anymore. They were not allowed to, so they couldn't. But when you let me come and run amok, come and be catastrophe, come and be disastrous, I will. And practice, Grammy said, make perfect. Mm-hmm. So when you let Paul and Mary come in your place and do what they want to do, they get better at doing so, even though they are still performing. Now, the trouble we have is that organizations put all their efforts in and focus on the willing and able because that person is positive, they're like-minded, they are infectious. They are also going to be someone that might stick to themselves but still perform. Mm-hmm. The trouble is, Dwight, because now Susan and Paul became unwilling and able or unwilling and unable, I now start to pack up more on my willing and able. Because you always come, you always show up, you always show out, but now this person starts to feel the brunt of what Mary and Paul are no longer doing. Right. The reward for good work, many people say is more good work, it's more work. That's rubbish. That is absolute rubbish. If it is that Susan and Paul continue to display by will, by choice, that they're not interested in this, why are they allowed to stay? If you don't choose first to rehabilitate, my admonition to HR leaders and leaders around the world is always to first see how you can make this thing better. Mm-hmm. What steps have you taken to ensure that anyone in this category would have been given any resource available to make them come around? If you've done all you can, if you have taken all the steps, if you've had the conversations, documented the actions, and this person still decides not to improve, there's a choice to be made.
Mm. You've had examples of Paul being rehabilitated I mean, it won't require them to be made VP and to...
Rubbish.
No?
Listen to me, Dwight. People want to be seen, they want to be heard, and they want to know that you see that they're doing okay. That's the bottom line. No matter, you could be the president of the whole world. They ask you a question. They'll ask their spouse or their closest friend, how was that? How was I today? How did I seem? How did I sound? People want to be validated. They don't want to be lotion up. They don't want you to gas them up. They want to be validated. Do you see my value? Do you hear my value? Am I adding value to your organization? When the right conversation is had, things can turn around. The trouble is, though, we send in the pawn to have the conversation, or we avoid the conversation altogether, or we patronize the employee. We make them feel as though it's all about you and so on and so forth. When you're talking to that employee, you don't want to diminish their value, because then they'll start to show you that you believe I play. Right? But you want to remind them, listen, man, what you do every day, it's necessary. What we will not allow What we cannot allow is you to do what you want to do, when you want to do it, how you want to do it. The attitude, the disposition, the mindset is affecting our ability to perform as an organization. We want to see you do better. We want to see you return to where you used to be. What do we need to do with you, for you? That don't mean promotion, extra money, all the stuff. What specifically did you realize we didn't do for you or do with you in time? It might mean opportunities for growth. That don't mean automatic promotion either. That can mean a track for growth. That can mean succession. That can mean what is my next step in this organization. You've not spoken to me in decades. You keep bringing in these outside talent who I got to teach anyway. I got to train them to do my job that you've given them, that you've given me. You pay me to do my job. You're not paying me to train them. You're not paying me because I've trained them well and caused them to succeed as well. You're not paying me because of the way I perform in an organization. You continue to overlook me, so I continue to get stronger and stronger in my unwillingness to do and be who you've called me to be, or who you need me to be in this organization. I will still perform because I don't want you to ever be able to say, he stopped doing his job, or she is now an underperformer. The unwilling and able is concerned about the way you see them, but they are less concerned about your culture because now you don't take care of them.
Wow. Okay.
It doesn't have to be promotion. It could be promotion. It doesn't have to be more money. It could be more money. The fact is, have the conversation. Acknowledge the fact that something has changed, something has gone wrong, something is not the same. Once you find out what that thing is, do something with what they've told you. I keep saying on the show, Dwight, it makes no sense if you're not going to take what people say and do something with it. I put it this way. Information without implementation is intellectual constipation. And plenty of you are constipated intellectually. You have all the information that your staff have told you, but you do nothing with it at all. You continue to have survey after survey, employee engagement after employee engagement, but nothing is evolving.
Wow.
Your team members are going to stop talking to you. They're going to stop telling you what's wrong. And Dwight, in any relationship, platonic, professional, romantic, if the partner stops speaking, that is the end of it. I'd rather you ram me out bad, because that means you still invested, you still have an interest in seeing this thing get better. But when you tell me, all is well, everything cool, when you start to, there's nothing from me, shut right down, why are we here? Wow. The person is no longer invested in seeing this thing get any better, and that's where the trouble starts to set in.
We're talking with Amad Rashad Thompson. It's our HR series. Okay, so unwilling and able, that's toxic, as you say. Yeah, absolutely.
It's the threat. It's not necessarily toxic. It is, however, not good.
Not good.
That person, that perspective, that position is not a good position to be in because that person is influencing your organization by hook or by crook. Either they're doing it intentionally or they're doing it unintentionally. Ultimately, they're having an effect on the way the organization moves, the way it thinks, and the way it's performing.
Yeah. All right, so unwilling and unable. This one I don't understand. Is this the CEO's son or the grandson or a PA, an MP put that person in that department or something? What's going on there?
On that point, I had a call with a client yesterday, and the client is, uber frustrated. Members of Parliament, this is the message directly to you. Is Parliament happening today? I don't know.
No, but next week.
Members of Parliament, individuals that have positions in government, permanent secretaries, MPs, whoever you are, you've hired these people in these organizations to do a job. Let them do their jobs. In the event that your MP or your constituent who you've done a favor for is not performing, and the organization is going through its regular non-performance process, please let them do so. Stop calling these CEOs, stop calling these leaders, stop calling these HR professionals and threatening them or challenging them to have a heart. Excuse me.
Wow.
If you are not doing your job, you get voted out. So why then should an employee that you send down the road be able to be kept because you say so? If you've sent them, let them earn their keep. If they're not earning their keep, either you rehabilitate them or you release them. Members of Parliament, government officials, stay out of private affairs. Please, do yourself, do this country, do these individuals a favor and leave well enough alone. I'm not telling you to withstand or tolerate injustices. I'm not telling you to withstand and tolerate victimization and bad treatment. I'm not saying that to you. But when the organization is going through its normal way of performance management with any employee, whether the ones you send or the ones that they hired on their own, leave them be. Allow them to carry out their processes because you're aiding and abetting foolishness. Leave them alone. I implore you to stop it.
Yeah.
It makes no sense. You're causing things to be worse. And those people become emboldened and emblazoned, Dwight. They go around telling me, you can't touch because my MP sent me. You and your MP need to get fired. And I mean that with all my heart and all my soul. Leave them alone. Okay? Again, that is not to say if an employee is being made to feel any type of way that is inhumane, victimized, that sort of thing, stand up, raise your hand, give some clarity. But do not get involved where you're not supposed to be. When I worked in the bank, Dwight, there was a lady, her name is Beryl Pugh. God bless you, Ms. Pugh, if you're still around. I pray that you're strong and thriving. She said to me as a young teller, Amad, concern yourself with the things that concern you. I want to encourage our government officials to concern themselves with the things that concern them. Stop getting mixed up in things that don't have nothing to do with you. All right, that's stop. I finished with that. Let's continue.
All right, so is that the only way that you can end up with an unwilling and unable employee?
No.
How else can...
The same way I could go from unwilling to able. I mean, I could be unwilling and able to write something transpired, right? Let's say, though, that as you made a shift in the way we do the organizational so-and-so.
Maybe some new technology or
some
something?
new technology, and it diminished my ability, right? So now I'm not sharp on the AI, I'm not sharp on the computer, I'm not sharp on the new system. And so my ability is diminished, not necessarily gone or depleted.
Right.
It's just now I'm losing my ability.
Okay.
I used to be sharp one day, but now, boy, the young people or the people who are ahead of the systems, they got me in a chokehold right now. They're holding me in the dance, my Grammy would say. So now I'm a little bit bitter because y'all ain't thinking about me as we make these changes. Or my suggestions are no longer being seen or heard. I'm no longer the favorite in the organization. My lifestyle may have changed. I may have had a divorce. I may have lost a parent. I may have lost, something has happened. And so my willingness is shifting, which is ebb and flow in business, Dwight. No matter how good you are, sometimes your willingness to do this work is going to ebb and flow. But now coupled with that is my inability to perform to the standard you've set. Right? I can't meet these targets. I can't use this system. I don't understand this new platform. And so my ability now is drifting and shifting. With that in mind, I become unwilling and unable. Because I'm now unwilling and unable and either choosing not to get better or do better, that's where the expendability of it comes in. Because if you are a good leader or a good HR person, you have had the conversation with Amad. Amad, now listen. There was a time when this was the case. You had the ability, the will, you had the skill, but something has transformed. Something has transpired. What's gone wrong? Additionally, we need you to be able to do A, to do B, to do C. And you can't or no longer have the ability to do so. We want to put you on a track. We want to put you on a plan to get you to do so and so, right? When you think, Dwight, about the individuals that are doing well in your organization, there's a moment you can rehabilitate by pairing able and willing with unwilling and able, and or unable and unwilling.
Yeah.
Right? What we can't do is deplete all the energy and skill of the able and willing.
Okay, this is really big. So should the onus be on the HR department to go after that person and say, hey, we got to get you, or should you at least say, well, I need to upskill myself? I mean, but if you've been demotivated for many years, you probably won't want to do this.
Yes. I am a proponent of personal accountability and personal responsibility. You've heard me say that a lot in the show.
Yeah.
You have a responsibility to be better than you were yesterday. That is your job to do so.
Right.
If I am a good HR practitioner, if I'm someone that sees people as the asset in an organization, the resource in the organization, I'm going to speak to leaders that's telling me Amad is slipping. Something ain't right with Amad. We got to talk to Amad. As HR, when I worked in corporate HR, I would challenge the leader the first of the conversation. What have you noticed? What have you witnessed? What can you prove is no longer the same? Right? If the leader says, man, I'm having a hard time with the conversation, I'm not sure exactly what to do or how to do it, no problem, here's some counsel.
Or if the leader says, just offload that so
Get
you
off
get
them.
some new kid in here.
Anytime a leader decides to come to me and tell me they want to fire somebody, I start them with you. Why you want to fire them? What's the proof? Because if you come into me for the first time ever in life to fire this person, what you've been doing for the last however long? Because this problem is probably not as egregious as you're making it feel. This is a situation that's run you hard enough that you can't take it no more. They ain't break no real rules. They ain't cause no real confusion. But you now can't take no more of them, see when I'm gone. I'm starting with you, leader, first. Come, you sit down here and let me fire you instead. Because if you're letting this unwilling and unable person come in and affect and infect, I have a problem with you. I'm going to start with you. Now, to your question, if it is the person that's not taking the personal responsibility or the personal accountability, it is the leaders and HR's job to recognize the decline and to then uphold a strategy to get that person back to the standard. If they cannot be rehabilitated, if they choose not to fall in line or to improve or to apply themselves and do better, there is a decision that needs to be made. Because you're able and willing, and you're able and you're unwilling and able. I'm sorry, you're able and unwilling. No, you're willing and unable. Forgive me. So the first two categories, the willing and able, and the willing and unable, are watching the way you engage these two other categories. There is hope for your unwilling and able. There is not so much hope for your unwilling and unable, especially when you've taken all that you can done and tried to make this better. You've put performance strategies in place, you've implemented performance improvement programs, you've partnered them with persons who are maybe more skilled and more able in certain areas, and they choose not to or can't rise to the occasion, and we have to make a decision. Yeah.
I'm very curious about the percentages. Is it standard or does it really vary? What do you see typically in an organization?
I think it does vary. Most of an organization, if we take like out of 10, most people will fall in the willing and able, right? Now.
Oh, really?
Most people will.
Willing
now.
and able.
Don't forget I said willingness is ebb and flow, right? Because today I could be your biggest cheerleader, and tomorrow a change in the culture, a change in the policy, a change in the perspective might cause me to shift for a moment. That person is usually, though, an evolved thinker and a self-regulator.
And I'm thinking Fridays make a difference as well.
They'll have a bad day, a bad week, and realize, you know what? Man, I can push through.
Fridays after 12, most people are
check out.
Unwilling and unable.
Yeah,
but that's a different story.
A different story.
Right.
But this person might say, you know what, this isn't as bad as it seems. Or they may talk to a mentor, a colleague, and realize, you know what, I can stomach this, I can move past this, I can engage further. But when you find that unwilling and able person, the trouble with them, the reason they are a threat is because they know they can and they know you know they can. So they're walking around wrong and strong. They're walking around telling everybody they can't do nothing with me, they can't touch me because I am the baddest on this road.
Wow.
When it comes to this thing, they know I'm the best. And they keep telling me I'm the best because they pay me every week and they reward me every month. Or they give me the big award every so and so. But everybody knows this person is a catastrophe. And anybody listening to us right now, Dwight, has identified all 4 of these people already in the organization. They can call them by name, they can recognize them by scent, they can recognize them by their footsteps coming down the hallway. They know, Lord, that thing coming again. Think about it. Think about it this way. It's like when you see the schedule come up for the week and you realize all I got is unwilling and unable.
Oh my God.
Mother, like this could be a hard week this week. Or on this shift today, I could see all the ability but none of the will. So I can work extra hard now because I know I can push through. I'm that kind of person that no matter what's going on, I can keep it moving. But that unwilling person, they come in across the foot at the ankle and just watch me struggle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we need to take a break. When we come back, we've got to talk about the willing and able and willing and unable
Yes, sir.
in order to work on them and keep them around,
Absolutely.
what we need to do. This is Amad Rashad Thompson in our HR series. We'll be back with more Morning Blend business in just a bit. Stay with us here on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Have you already tried our President Butter? Ooh la la. Indulge a little with President, because now more than ever, we need to savor the taste, textures, and feelings to truly enjoy the little things that mean the most. President Butter, something to savor.
At CFAL, we understand that a secure future is the greatest gift you can give your employees. That's why our tailor-made group pension solutions are designed to fit the needs of both large and small companies. With CFAL, you can provide the retirement you and your employees deserve, ensuring peace of mind and financial stability for years to come. Join the many businesses that have already entrusted CFAL to create the right pension plan for their employees, and let us help you build a brighter future for your team. Visit us at cfal.com to get started on building wealth so you can live well. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
Southwest Plaza has so many stores, I've been trying to find a sensible way to list them all. There's CBS Bahamas, the Ashai Institute, BENC Snack World, Bamboo Shack Bahamas, there the Athlete's Foot and BTC, Games and More, John Bull Fine Threads, Alive, Bahari, Dairy Queen, 700 Wines and Spirits, Sandy's Clarkson Island Lock, Starbucks and Lowe's Pharmacy, plus Marco's Pizza and Lorraine. Southwest Plaza, what a wide array of stores. Southwest Plaza, stop by today and explore.
Throughout history, from bartering in ancient markets to the invention of paper currency, convenience has been at the heart of the way we pay. As time marched from barter to cash and cash to digital. Whether you pay with an online bank transfer, digital wallet, or contactless card, with digital payments, options abound. The world never stops evolving, and neither should you. Choose freedom, choose flexibility, choose convenience. The future of pay is digital. Visit us online at livedigitalbahamas.com and on social media.
BWF Pre-Inventory Warehouse Clearance Sale and Tent Sale, Friday, May 30th and Saturday, May 31st, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. For the best deals you will find, shop BWF for the biggest sale of the season. Great savings, great prices. Up to 50% off Pre-Inventory Warehouse Clearance Sale, Friday, May 30th and Tent Sale, Saturday, May 31st, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Come on in while supplies last. Grab your bargain today. Great deals and awesome savings. Savings include appliances, hand and power tools, generator, compressors, and water pumps, welding supplies, automotive and hardware supplies, lawn and garden supplies, kitchen and outdoor cooking supplies, barbecue grills, household supplies, bedding and bath supplies, Junkanoo and craft supplies, floral decor, and so much more. BWF, we are more than just our name. Number 13 Wilton Street, telephone 394-0004 or 6. Check us out on Facebook. We ship to the Family Islands.
You work hard for your money. Don't let your money work hard for you. With as little as $1,000 to start, you can watch your money grow by investing in CFAL's Bahamian dollar and US dollar mutual funds, each tailored to match your unique investment profile. Our expert advisors are dedicated to crafting personalized investment strategies to help you achieve your financial goals. Don't miss out on the chance to earn higher returns on your hard-earned money. Join the thousands of investors who trust CFAL and start your journey toward financial freedom today. Visit us at cfal.com to learn more about our saving and investment options. And let us help you build wealth so you can live well. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
It's time to upgrade the way you enjoy at-home entertainment. Alive Fiber is here. Enjoy all your favorite channels and streaming apps, all at lightning-fast internet speeds with affordable bundles, and it's only a click away. Visit www.alivefiber.com to sign up now. Stay connected, live your life. It's good to be alive.
It is time for your morning business report brought to you by CFAL. The Davis administration has increased the overall subvention allocation to government-owned corporations and statutory agencies by $57 million in the upcoming fiscal year. Notable increases include allocations to the Water and Sewage Corporation for development projects, the Public Hospital Authority, as well as more funding for the operational expenses of public tertiary institutions. For the current fiscal year, the government approved $489 million in estimated spending for recurrent subvention. Between July 2024 to March 2025, the budget showed an estimated $417 million was spent. More on the specific numbers in today's Guardian Business section. Bahamian Contractors Association President Leonard Sands telling Guardian Business that the announcement by Prime Minister Davis of the removal of customs duties on some construction items will have a marginal effect on the industry, but if the government wants considerable GDP growth, the removal of customs duties on all construction items should have been considered. More on his comments in today's Guardian Business section. And the president of the Bahamas Insurance Brokers Association, Dwayne Swaby, says ahead of the 2025 Atlantic hurricane season that insurance rates will remain steady through the rest of the year. For hurricane and catastrophe coverage, Atlantic hurricane season begins on July 1st. Swaby emphasizing the important insurance early due to the difficulty of obtaining coverage during an active storm. And Kalina Holdings Bahamas Limited announcing its unaudited financial results for the first quarter ended March 31st, 2025, demonstrating resilience and strategic focus in delivering value to policyholders, clients, and shareholders. Kalina reporting net income attributable to ordinary shareholders of $12.9 million, or 52 cents per ordinary share, for the 3 months ended March 31st, representing an increase from the $10.7 million, or 43 cents per ordinary share reported for the same period in 2024. In your market watch, recapping trading on the BISX, your market movers, Bahamas First Holdings moving 4,500 shares, closing at $2.15, up 7 cents. Commonwealth Bank moving 28,500, closing at $4.95, up 43 cents. Colina Holdings moving 1,750, up 24 cents, closing at 12.40. Consolidated Water down 10 cents, closing at 5.37. Emira Incorporated down 15 cents and moving 3,652 shares, closing at $10.89. The Basics All Share Index closing at 3,057.27, up 62.97. That's your Market Watch, and that is your Morning Business Report, brought to you by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations. And we are back with Morning Blend Business. Dwight Strong with you on this Friday morning. We are talking with Amad Rashad Thompson, human resource expert. It's our our monthly series here on Morning Blend Business, talking about the 4 types of employees. Okay, so we talked quite a bit about the unwilling and able and unwilling and unable. But the willing and able and willing and unable.
Yes.
Let's begin with the willing and able. You can imagine, especially the new people on the job, they're all excited, enthusiastic. How do you keep them that way? You mentioned that they're going to be watching how you treat the unwilling and able and unwilling and unable.
Yes, sir.
And saying, my God, they're still getting paid, they're still making more than me, and yet, what do you do to keep them motivated?
Yes. Your willing and able individuals are the ones that are going to drive your business success exponentially, but also consistently. This person is not to be forgotten or taken advantage of. He or she needs to know the value you see them bringing in every day. Recognize them, reward them appropriately and according to your company's policies and/or regulations. Do not give any of these employees special treatment. The trouble is that we are dismantling organizational culture by giving sets of people, groups of people, special treatment. When you create silos, you create division. Okay? These individuals also need clarity, Dwight. Clarity creates commitment. If I'm clear on where we're going, I'm going to commit to get there. Or I will give you my understanding or my objections rather as to why I think we can't get there. These individuals need to be seen, heard, and validated just like everybody else. But your willing and able is not to be taken advantage of, not to be left alone. Just because he or she is smiling don't mean they ain't catching hell.
Oh, wow.
Okay? So you now need to pay attention to your willing and able and understand what do you need to continue to be willing and continue to be able. Do you have the support you need? Do you have the tools you need? Are you getting the recognition you desire? Is all well? And when they tell you tell you that all is well, ask them specifically, what are you enjoying about your experience? What would you change? What would you alter? What would you start, stop, or continue? Hear from them regularly so they don't drift into unwilling and able.
How often?
As regularly as you can.
Right.
If I'm a leader of a willing and able employee, we check in at least monthly.
Wow.
And I mean like a full-on, sit down, let's chat, check in, not know how you're doing, how things, I'm talking about, hey brother, how are they going on the road? How things going? Or how
monthly?
Monthly, minimum monthly.
Okay.
Minimum. A good leader is talking to their good employees and bad employees at least weekly, At least weekly. And this is aside from group meetings and that kind of thing, because you can tell in the group when somebody's not checked in. Right? It's after that group meeting because they're going to have their own meeting anyway. You pull them aside. You set time out. Hey, Dwight, I want to talk to you tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock. Don't do it 3 o'clock because they think you're firing them. So do it at 11 o'clock in the morning. A good time. Let's chat. And here's what I want to chat about. I noticed that you are a little less involved, a little less engaged. I want to pick up on that. So think about what's been going on because I want to know and I want to share that with you. If you are a leader that doesn't know how to do that, learn. I had a leader when I worked in the bank as well, another leader that said to me, ignorance is no excuse. What you don't know ain't no excuse, go find out. Come back and be able to do something with what you just found out now. You as the leader are expected to and required to dig deeper. Talk to your employees, engage them. Your willing and able can easily drift down to unwilling and able. You want to stay ahead of that at all times. You're willing and unable. It's a sweet spot, Dwight. This person has all the drive, all the energy, all the interest. They kill it. They want to kill it, but they don't know how to. Right. Teach them as fast as you can and reevaluate the teaching as often as you can as well. What does that mean? Okay, Amad, I see that there's a challenge with process A. I'm going to partner you with Dwight, who is an expert on process A. Dwight also has the right mindset, the right thought processes. He has the right attitude. He demonstrates our organizational culture. I'm not going to put you with Susan, who is unwilling and able, because she can talk you right down to the ground about how stupid you are for trying to do your best. Don't get them all your time. Clock out when you're supposed to. All of that stuff. She's going to further deteriorate this person's willingness. Okay, this person needs to be paired with those that are willing and able, not put off on, but paired with. You're willing and able cannot feel like you're starting to take advantage of them. If they do, they start to take their willingness and ability somewhere else. Okay? In these 4 categories of employees, there's a subset of 2. Those that soon leave, those that just left. Your unwilling and unable will never be in any of those categories. They ain't going nowhere. They're here for the long ride. They're in for the long haul. Because, brother, you got to pay me my money before I go anywhere. They've been around a long time. They invested in this company. They just started to care less. They want you to pay them out. But you're willing and able. You're willing and unable are starting to look around. Hey, Dwight, you know anybody opening with HR positions or anybody doing technology? I need another job. They're on LinkedIn, strong. They're sending their resumes out, so they soon leave or they just left. You're now starting to be left with only them that are unwilling and able or unwilling and unable. So before you're willing and able, you're willing and unable, get to those categories, catch them before it gets too late.
Really quickly, if you find that your company is that one with, oh my gosh, only unwilling and unable people here, what do you do? Obviously, you are the big part of the problem.
For sure. You have to start with you. You realize that I have caused or contributed to the unwillingness and the inability. How do you allow a team member on your team that is not capable to remain there without trying to get them to be better, without giving them the tools they need to succeed, without giving them the feedback they need to grow? Feedback is a gift. Give it and take it freely. Never return it. How you give it does matter. The most expensive gift thrown at you, you could be like, what's going on here? So take your time to present it, package it.
Thought of it like
Absolutely.
That. That's very, wow.
If you disrespect
me, you gave me a Rolex, but you threw it in my face.
You question me with that eye, want to know more? You bruised me in my eye with the watch that I'm supposed to now wear and feel value in. I don't want it no more. Because your attitude towards it is trash. You could give me a hot patty and put that in a nice box. Boy, man, I thought about you this morning on the drive into work. Here you go. And I'm like, that on my WhatsApp status, they put that on my Facebook. My coworker bring me hot patty today. Yeah. It's not the gift, it's the way you present the gift. And feedback is the gift. Okay? If that employee that's unwilling and unable and that's all you find yourself surrounded by, please start with you. Perhaps, leader, you are also unwilling and unable.
Oh, boy.
Perhaps.
Whoa.
Indeed.
That sounds like a whole other show.
A whole other shebang.
You need to do that one.
Because I tell my clients all the time, don't forget that you are also a human being. You are also an employee, Mr. Leader. And you can very well be in any of these categories at any given time in your career, leading those that are also unwilling and unable. What we can do then? Next month is always here, right?
We should do that next month. Yes.
Next month is here. We got another
when
opportunity.
The leader is
should the Lord tarry.
Willing and unable, willing and able, unwilling and unable, and unwilling and able.
Because we categorize, we leave this for just employees only. But you, Mr. Leader, you, Mrs. Leader, you, Mr. CEO, you, Mr. CEO, can also find yourself in any of these categories at any given time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amad Rashad Thompson, always a pleasure. How can people find you if they need to have you come and speak to their companies?
Please contact me via LinkedIn. My name is Amad Rashad Thompson on LinkedIn. You can contact me on Instagram, Amad Rashad Thompson there. Astute Talent Management as well. You can find me on Facebook. You can also email me at info@mytalentmatters.com because it does. Yeah. Your talent matters to me. Your talent is my priority, and I want to see you and your teams thriving.
Amazing stuff. People asking how they can get a copy of the show. Well, it's going to be replayed 8 o'clock tonight here on Guardian Radio, and all of our shows are posted the next working day by mid-morning, and you'll be able to listen to it all the time.
All the time.
And you can go back and listen to Ahmad's last show a month ago.
Yes.
And GuardianTalkRadio.com on our website, or YouTube, or Spotify as well.
Yes. If these shows inspire you, share them. Do not get better on your own.
Hey.
Life is not meant to be lived in a silo. Tell somebody, share with somebody to help them grow as well.
Powerful stuff. Indeed. Can't wait till next month.
Absolutely. I'll be here. God's for life.
And I'll be back on Monday morning with more Morning Blend and Morning Blend Business right here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan, have a great day, everybody. Stay tuned for On the Clock with Aaron Green next.
God bless you, everyone. Thank you, Dwight.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app. Nassau, Bahamas.